All right, welcome to episode 167 of the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Powers, and I'm just going to get it out of the way. This is all about the Switch 2, pretty much all of it. Yeah, just clap, clip, whatever. They couldn't make up their mind. I heard like 3 different versions of that. But joining me on this lovely discussion, we'll start with the one guy you can't see, Chris.
Booga, booga, booga.
He's an enigma today. And for
the one who almost
future.
didn't make it, Rachel.
Hey! I'm here now.
The one who joined us for the live stream at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning for himself, sadly, Chase.
G'day.
What a trooper.
He was awake. It was amazing. And lastly, Steven. I'm just going to say just Steven. I couldn't think of anything funny. Probably the only other guy who's excited about this as I am. With your Peach shirt. I'm technically wearing a Mario one today. It's the Mario and Pac-Man combination. So, oh man. So we're going to go real quick through what we've been doing, and then we're going to jump into an ungodly amount of Switch 2 news. Mainly to tell you what happened, what we're excited about, what we think is going to be going on, and to kind of clarify a lot of misinformation that's been going on recently. Very weird arguments online and in person.
I think I need some clarification because I literally saw one thing like listed literally on Nintendo's stuff under an image.
At the end of this, you'll be an expert. Don't you worry.
I fucking hope so.
I made sure of that.
Most kid-friendly episode.
Added
Fuck yeah.
Little things, really quick bullet points. So I was like, nothing's being glossed over.
Yeah, they kind of screwed themselves in this. But let's go ahead and jump into that. Rachel, since you have the most, I think, to go over today, let's go ahead and start with you.
All right.
Doing?
Okay, let me scroll all the way back up to what I was doing.
How unprepared.
I was looking at the big question. I had to be prepared for that. Okay. So, I've been playing a lot of Hello Kitty Island Adventure. It's really fun. It's a good time sink, and you don't have to play it for very long to enjoy it. It's just so cute and so relaxing and not as frustrating for me as Animal Crossing, and I don't know why, but I'll leave it at that. I started a new book. I'm reading Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. That's not the author. The author is a different name. I don't remember it right now, but it's very good because it's period fantasy, and it's really good. And then I also just started a comic book series called Red Coat. Have you guys ever heard of that?
I have not.
Okay, so the first volume of it just came out like sometime early in March. Okay. And I came across it on the shelves at the comic book store that I go to game night for. And let me just read this description for you. Just so you can hear this. British redcoat and all-around rogue Simon mysteriously became immortal in 1776 after a run-in with the clandestine cabal known as the Founding Fathers, which included George Washington, John Hancock, and many other prominent American Revolutionary War leaders. Since that fateful day, Simon has led a life of adventure and avarice, rubbing elbows and sometimes fists with many of history's most renowned figures, including his nemesis Benedict Arnold, Albert Einstein, Annie Oakley, and many more. One thing they all agree on, they never want to see him again. But what are the true origins and extent of Simon's power and the mysterious organization behind them? And how has it secretly shaped America and the world? Tune into Simon's quest to find out. Like that is the description. And I saw the cover of this and I went, oh, okay, this is like American Revolution. All right, I'm fascinated in this. Why does it look like it's sci-fi-y, fantasy-y? And then I looked up the description, which wasn't on the back, and I went, holy crap, this sounds hilarious.
Neat.
And it is. And
awesome.
That's what I've been doing.
Okay. Chris, what about you? What you been doing?
Ever since the announcement of the Direct, everybody's been interested in that expansion pack stuff, so I'm playing Breath of the Wild. Normal mode.
Normal mode? There you go.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm going to gripe about that later, but I don't think these games need expansion packs, but whatever.
Okay, we shall see. Chase, what about you? What you been doing?
Almost platinumed Dynasty Warriors Origins, but I've also been playing a couple other the Muso type games in between, so it's kind of it for me.
All right. Steven, what about you?
Something's missing from there because I'm done with it. Because there's nothing happening. I've been playing ZZZ. Just got another update. Now I'm doing target practice because I unlocked a sniper.
Mm-hmm.
So that's new and it's actually really kind of fun. And I'm going to save the longer version of this for a future episode, but I've completed Resident Evil 7 and I'm playing through only the necessary story DLC. It is and has been for me a hot take incoming. The worst Resident Evil I've ever played, and I've played all the PS1 and PS2 ones as well. I absolutely despise some of the choices they made, and I want to know, is the same guy who worked on this who worked on 8 or who worked on the remakes, because somebody needs a stern talking to. That's it.
Why is everything I like you hate? Why does this keep happening? All right, so for me, I finally watched and finished all of Andor. I don't know why I had started it and never gone back and finished it, but it's also terrifying of how fitting that series is with our modern world right now. Because I was like, wow, that was unintentionally spot on in a lot of ways, but it was really good. I'm looking forward to season 2, which starts later this month. Beyond that, I'm still playing Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, and I am trying to get through where I can actually get a Skell, because I don't think I ever even got to that point on the Wii U. I kept trying to play it, but it felt like it took forever, and it still feels like it's taking forever, and I just want to get through the story, but I'm still playing it, so that's at least good. All right, so real quick, we're going to jump into a very fast group chat and then get on to some Switch 2 news. That's disappointing, Steven. You got one job, man. Well, Steven and Chase have got something to talk about, so go ahead.
So Chase and I jumped it back into New Dawn. We're enjoying it.
The Far Cry New Dawn.
Yes. Not Twilight. And I'm going to drop 3 things we learned last time. We learned don't hit people with gasoline on their back with a car, because then your car will leave the plane of existence.
Along with you.
That's awesome.
We learned that bears are really persistent in killing. They'll chase you up a steady incline.
Yes.
And
You
they'll
learned
actually
that in
grab you
Avowed.
and throw you like a ragdoll. Was
Yep.
number 2. And number 3, on a serious note, Chase found out that the second player does not get any story progression and actually loses everything he's been collecting since he was playing if he ever dies.
Oh, that sucks.
So his game is a roguelike while mine's not.
Wow, that is hard mode for sure. Poor Chase. That's just terrible.
Whoever voices the Herc Drumman guy deserves an Oscar. That dude was awesome.
We have to get this game and figure that out. The next part we were talking into is Zombie Army Trilogy, which Steven, Chase, and I finally finished. We've been playing it for a while. We were going to finish it last week, and then Steven's tummy was bad. So he wasn't able to finish. And then
Well, I gave you the honors
right
of throwing him into hell again.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So we did finally finish that. Though we did, what was it? Something happened and we ended up having to restart a section and had to play. We ran through that part of the level as fast as we could because we're like, we've already done this. So,
no,
but yeah,
it's because it froze on us. We glitched out.
That's right. Yeah.
Frozen.
Oh no, not glitching out, guys.
It happens. So,
yeah. Speaking of that, quickly in New Dawn, we also had to go back to a hidden area because when I fell off a waterfall, Chase revived me while I was underwater, so I instantly just died again and just stayed underwater, and I couldn't press any buttons. The game locked me out completely.
oh,
That's hilarious.
So
sucks.
he's just like, your body's there, but you can't do anything. I was like, I'm dead for real.
I'm alive.
So I said, from now on, let's not revive each other underwater.
Well, I think that happened with Zombie Army Trilogy. Like, I died, and I'm like, "You guys gonna revive me?" It's like, "You're dead," and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I couldn't move. So
Gotta love latency.
yeah, it was hilarious. All right, let's jump into our news because that is the meat of all
We
this.
got a little bit, yeah.
Just a bit. You guys ready for that Switch 2? Because Nintendo Switch 2 officially is going to be launching June 5th with pre-orders being delayed for the moment with some of the current tariff issues going on. But Nintendo is still set for that release date. So we'll find out, at least in the United States, when pre-orders are going to be available.
I don't think the delay on pre-orders is going to be as long as we think it is.
Well,
That's my thought.
I almost expect them to tack it on to the Mario Kart Direct, but that's just
maybe.
Yeah, I can
17th.
definitely foresee that. And I think there's more of a, they're not just wait and seeing. I think there's some negotiations going on just based on how little language we've got about it.
Well, that's what they're trying to figure out. Pre-orders have already opened in other parts of the world. I know the UK and a lot of other places have got their orders in already, so it's kind of spreading out.
Chase keeps asking me if I want one, and I was like, not yet.
Nice. So the price of the system was also announced, which for that, the Switch 2 is set to be $449.99 currently. We'll see if that changes. And $499.99 for the Mario Kart World bundle. We finally have the name for Mario Kart. And that's going to be a digital copy of the game coming in. And it won't be the first time we have to explain what's physical, digital, and what's not.
Speaking of like the prices and stuff, I have the point of contention that a lot of my friends have had and like full on arguments is this next point here, the game prices.
I think this has been overblown for a lot of stuff. So some of the games will vary on their cost. The most expensive so far has been Mario Kart World itself. If you buy it physically, a separate thing, is $80. Now, this does also look like to be one of the largest games Nintendo's made. And it seems to be, like 80 something characters so far, huge open world map. A lot of that stuff we'll get into. Mm-hmm. But that's not how it is for all of them. And so real quick, I'm going to jump into this because the first bit of misinformation I've heard about is the whole all games are going to be $90. Mario Kart 8 is the highest one right now at $80. There is another country where the physical version is $90, but I don't know exactly what the currency is, but it's only $10 more than the actual digital one. So that's going to be a bit different.
I will tell
Canada.
you. Yeah, again, it is Canada. Yeah, I remember reading about that. But I will tell you, the game prices, like the prices of the games, have already dropped. Actually, like gone down in price in France, purely because of the amount of, I guess, backlash. But like they've already lowered the price in France. That could be
that may be more of a local
stuff,
thing, but yeah,
that could be conversion stuff. It could be a negotiation that they did. But just so you're aware, prices have already dropped a little bit in France.
Yeah, I know they have been confirmed for here. Like a couple of the games are going to be 70 that we're going to be talking about. There's one from Square that's only 40, but that's for a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, digital prices. It's going to be, they're sticking to the variable.
Is what MSRP even stands for.
Yeah.
Market
manufacturers suggested retail price.
Yeah.
Yep.
Market.
Yeah.
So it's like there's market price.
Like there's some stores in the UK I've seen people talk about their games have gone down, not because Nintendo or anyone's changed it, but because that store usually drops it a little bit trying to get more people in. So that's going to be on a store by store basis. Yeah. Same way GameStop will sometimes have sales, you know, on certain stuff because they're trying to get you to come in for it. Now, regardless of the cost of these, we found out that there's going to be 3 different types of media that these are going to be on. We have the Switch 2 cartridges, which are physically the same as Switch 1, which I thought was interesting. So no tab. I was wrong. There's no tab, but they are bright red. Like the actual cartridge.
They'll be much harder to lose. That's actually, this is kind of a design benefit here.
I call it now, they're going to be like fermented cherry flavored. Like they're just going to be sour cherry. Yeah.
No, don't.
If it's the cherry flavor from the Mario gummies, then it's perfect.
No one will want to swallow that. Just
no licky cartridge.
Chris and I had the Mario Valentine's gummies, and they tasted like feet.
Oh God. Currently, the cartridges go up to 64 gigs, which I believe is the largest they currently have. I'm sure that'll go up over time, that they usually do. But I think that was also the largest the Switch had beforehand. then, because that could be just normal Switch 2 games themselves. Now there's going to be compatible Nintendo Switch 1 titles that will be available. So it's going to support a good number of Switch 1 physical and digital, but because the Switch 2 does not contain Switch 1 components, this is how they did, DS on 3DS, Wii on Wii U, things like that, because they contained part of it. Fun fact, same reason PS3, all models can play PS1 because they have the chip in it. So it's going to be a mixture of hardware and software emulation. So all of the Nintendo titles will work fine, but there's kind of a breakdown on third-party ones, which, fun fact, there's over 15,000 third-party Switch games, for crying out loud. That's a lot. I did not see that coming. Mind you, that's probably a lot of digital.
10,000 of them are probably AI. So,
God. So there's still a good amount of them, but they're working through that list to see if they can make it a little bit better. So don't expect every game to work. They're not just going to put in there and go. And then the next thing is one that's caused a lot of controversy, and that's the Nintendo Switch 2 Edition titles. This one, we have a little bit of clarification we still need to do ourselves. Mm-hmm. So these are Nintendo Switch games that are specifically being re-released with added benefits and features only on the Switch 2, which, it's like camera and microphone support, better visuals, new controls, things like that. They will be released physically and offer it as a paid update, which those of you on PlayStation 5 are already well aware of this. You have to do this for all kinds of games when you bought them on PS4. God of War, Gran Turismo, stuff like that. You had to pay $10, $15, $20 for that update to make them the full PS5 versions, and you would just put the PS4 disc in. Rachel, I saw that face.
I'm doing that because I don't like that it's a paid update. Like, I get it.
Well, it's the same thing that they did for all of the PlayStation stuff as well. They did a few in the beginning, but then they were paid after that.
I have not had to pay for a single PS4 to PS5 game update version.
Are they first party?
No.
These are all first party only.
Yeah, because like
so
God of War, I think like God of War Ragnarok,
there is one third party that announced that they're doing an upgrade pack, and I put that in the notes.
Okay,
yeah, they can do some patches and so forth, but like this is not an uncommon thing. Sony's been doing that for a while.
Okay, I guess I don't have any first party Sony games then.
Well, The Last of Us Part 2 just had like a $20 update you could do to get the game.
Yeah.
I think
Days
we had
Gone
the last
is doing it.
That's just
Days Gone is doing it.
Yeah,
I guess that's just my context of it, because I was like, oh God, okay.
It's not an uncommon thing. I mean, you may have lucked out with the titles you have or how you bought them, but they're there.
Oh, I'm sure they are. It doesn't mean that I have to like it though.
Fair. So, but these, just like the PlayStation ones, it's not just an update, graphics and so forth. They're usually adding extra content. Mm-hmm. The ones we have so far, we have Super Mario Party Jamboree, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, plus Jamboree TV. I hate the names for these things. I'm going to be saying Nintendo Switch 2 Edition a lot. This one adds in new mini games that use the camera, the microphone, and the mouse controls, which actually does look like a very massive updates. The games look a lot of fun. I might look into this one. The Legend of Zelda Breath. Oh, go ahead.
Get on with it. I'll make my comment after you say.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. This increases the FPS to, I think it's like 60 FPS, 1080p, HDR. The new Zelda Notes Nintendo app, which is a weird add-on for that. Go ahead, Steven.
So they elaborated a little bit more on the Zelda Notes. It goes a little bit deeper than we.
Yeah, it goes between the games too. I was gonna.
You can store up to 100 items that are weighing your guide down on the app. So you can put 100 items. You can now share those items with anybody else on your friends list and trade or just give them to them. So that it appears in there.
I love how Rachel went from shocked face to yawn in one smooth motion.
You can trade items between the games. So if you want to give some things from Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom and vice versa, you can do that. I think within reason.
They did say if it's an item that didn't exist in the other one, it will give you the closest related item to it.
Yeah.
So you can't send all of your fun costumes over. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's not going to work. It has to be items, not wearable.
It does have voice navigation, and you can
That's
actually
so funny.
Actually, if you wanted to say get every Korok, you can click on Koroks. It'll put them all on the map, and then you can click on which one, and the voice navigation will tell you how to get there.
That's so cool. Makes the game easier. So, just as a side thing, I'm looking at our notes here, and it says for both of these, free for NSO expansion pack members. So,
yeah, I was gonna.
There is a free upgrade then, but just for these two titles that we know of so far.
Well, it's just like with the what was it? The Mario Kart tracks on Mario Kart 8. You would get those included with Nintendo Switch Online.
Yep.
Or you could pay for them. So that's the only thing that is on there.
Adding the value to your $20 a year subscription.
Right.
Yeah. I love added value.
Yeah. So
this
the other one
looked cool though.
Yeah. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Same changes as Breath of the Wild, but they're also adding the ability to share QR codes for your creations. So if you have something you make, you can make that QR code, send it to a friend, or receive it from them, and also edit your screenshots and include them in that. Go ahead, Steven.
And also for people who like Toys to Life, there's more amiibos coming. You are going to get 4 more Tears of the Kingdom amiibos, and one of them's a big boy.
Yeah, there's 5 amiibos.
Oh, sorry, 5. The Construct is the big boy.
Right.
And
we haven't gotten that one yet.
That's going to give you different fabric for your kites and stuff. And just look cool overall.
I'll just add them to my collection. Ironically enough, like amiibos have definitely been confirmed. We got 7 different amiibos announced that we'll talk about, as well as 22 cards in a set, which is going to be great. Next up, we had Kirby and the Forgotten Land Nintendo Switch 2 edition plus Star-Crossed World. This one is, I don't know what the resolution it's upping it to, but the game itself will be going to 60 FPS instead of 30. They're also adding an entire new story part and new part of the world, as well as a new full mouth mode, like a big spring you can become, and some other stuff they have. Jennifer has already been very upset that this will not be on her Switch 1, and I keep trying to explain that to her. I love her to death, but she just does not get it. Next up, we had Metroid Prime 4 Beyond Nintendo Switch 2 edition. This one gives optional mouse controls, which I do love the fact you can turn them on and off in real time. So if you're just playing it, you can just turn your controller, put it on like a mouse, and it's instantly swapped over, use it, and then pick it back up and play like a controller again. 4K 60 FPS quality mode and a 1080p 120 FPS performance mode. Because yes, this thing will output in 4K. We haven't covered that part of the Switch yet. So I'm looking forward to that one. I saw some back and forth between the Switch version of it and the Switch 2 footage. And it reminded me of like Halo Master Chief Collection when you're playing Halo 2 and you just keep hitting the button to go back and forth between the old graphics and the new graphics. And I'm just like, what the hell? It looks like a new game. Like, it's insane how much more detail they put in there. Enhanced models, all kinds of stuff. Next was Pokemon Legends ZA Nintendo Switch 2 edition, which is enhanced resolution and frames that they're going to have on now. I have no idea. Some people are like, it still looks bad, and I'm like, they're not changing the art style, guys. Like, they're just making it.
Look in the mirror; they still look bad.
And lastly, because they announced this one later, but it's because they wanted to get Chase's attention. Sid Meier's Civilization 7. This one's getting enhanced resolution and mouse controls.
I get when I saw that, I watched it after you guys. Sorry, my eye is watering really badly right now. If you're wondering, is Rachel crying? No, it's because my left eye.
It's tears of financial terror.
Yeah. But no, the Sid Meier's thing, when that came up, I was like, oh man, that's gonna have mouse support. Jeremy predicted the future.
I willed it in for Chase because I know he wanted it. This one I do kind of call bullshit on. This one I do honestly believe should get a free update like Rachel you're talking about. Because this game just came out, but you have to pay to get this update for those that bought this on Switch. Which, great, you get the enhancements, but like, this is close enough. You should have maybe like, current users or like...
add Gandhi again.
Yeah, get it, maybe the first couple months you get it for free and then charge for it, whatever. But So the Switch 2 edition titles, I really like the idea behind them, but I am a little concerned because not confirmed. There's been some statements from the UK, which we don't know if this is for the US. There is a possibility these are just the Switch 1 cartridge with a download code for the update. That would be the worst case scenario. I would rather they do it like Sony does, where, you can pay to get the update if you've already got the game, but then you can just go buy a PS5 copy of God of War Ragnarok or Gran Turismo 7 or things like that. And it's just on the disc and it's just this, just PS5.
I would think that's something they have to disclose, and they don't say it that way on the front of the boxes. So
but we haven't seen the back. That's what worries me. But we'll find out. We don't, I want to be clear on a lot of this stuff. We're trying to clear the air on, speculation and rumors and, misinformation people have had. So we're being honest with you. We don't know 100%. My hope is that it is all in the cartridge. Nintendo, let me tell you right now, I will buy both of those Zeldas again, and I will buy Mario, the Kirby again, and Metroid I'll buy freaking twice. I'll give you the money. Give me the cartridges. That's all I want.
I just can't wait for Mario Kart. That's where I'm at.
We're going to get to that one. Oh my God, we're going to get to that one.
Mm-hmm.
We're good. So, yeah. All right. We're going to now go into the nerdy part of this, the specs.
I'll let you guys talk mostly.
Rachel's like, nap time.
Yeah.
All right.
The
so
entire podcast is the nerdy part.
Yes, but this is especially nerdy. Like,
Chris, I kind of forgot you were there because I can't see you moving.
Don't worry, when it's time to snark, you'll hear me.
He's an enigma right now. He continues to be an enigma.
Good. All right, so the Switch 2 does a lot more than even I thought it would. Like, this is kind of crazy. So the screen, we knew it was larger, but it's a 7.9-inch, 120 hertz LCD with VRR, that's variable refresh rate, and HDR, or high dynamic range support, at 1080p. So that's a nice visual jump with, like, HDR, I think, is an even bigger change for a lot of stuff than even the resolution, because that difference in light and dark. I remember when that first got added with the Xbox One X or the One S, how much of a difference that made in some of the titles. And then the VRR, that's great because on a portable system, if the Switch can't run the games at like 60 FPS or some of the higher ones, you could stick to like 40 FPS and VRR will handle that, smooth it out, and you'll still get good reaction time. And for a lot of people nowadays, they're kind of aiming, instead of doing 60 FPS for everything, they're doing 40. So you get better visuals, but a decent control. So that's actually surprisingly kind of future-proofing more than I thought from Nintendo. Go ahead, Steven.
And Nintendo through NVIDIA also confirmed that Switch 2 does use DLSS and ray tracing, but is being very vague about the details currently.
Yeah, ray tracing, it's probably going to end up being something like Series S usage, which is not as much. But like, I could see it for like dynamic lighting.
But,
things like that.
To just help everybody at home, DLSS stands for Deep Learning Super Sampling, and it is an AI-powered, the good AI, technology that uses machine learning to upscale lower resolution images in real time, enhancing both performance and image quality.
Yeah, this has been a tech that's been in operation for the past couple of years. That's been a huge boom for basically just running stuff on weaker hardware. So we also found out about the dock. The system itself supports 4K 60 FPS upscaled through DLSS, like Steven said. When it is docked, with that dock now actually having its own cooling system, which is great, so it can maintain a higher power while keeping cool. The system can also do 120 FPS at 1080p. So if your TV supports either of those versions, you can get some ridiculous frame rates on it. And it has been confirmed, like Metroid Prime 4, Nintendo Switch 2 edition, just add that to the end of everything. That one can support both the 4K 60 and the 120 FPS 1080p, which is 120 hertz almost feels too fast for Metroid.
I didn't like 120 FPS in Doom, so I was like, yeah, that's for the truly crazy people. So I was like, okay.
I think 120 FPS would be great if you're playing competitively. Like I could see if Fortnite supports it, that would be good for some people. You get faster reaction time and stuff. But I want Metroid to look as good as it can, so 4K 60 is going to be great for
I
me.
want 120 FPS Vampire Survivor.
They could do that.
What a thing to ask for.
Oh my god. That's great, Steven. I didn't even think about that. So the system itself supports 720p, 1080p, 1440p, which is a very popular high-speed monitor, so that's awesome, and 2160p, which I just put in there because not everyone knows that's 4K. Maybe you've learned something. The HDMI cable, it's an HDMI 2.1, so you cannot just replace your dock, like just unplug it and plug this in. The cable will not function. It needs to be a particular type of cable, and this is not new. It's the same kind of cable the PS5 and the Series X require. So you could remove those systems and put it in its place probably, but you don't have to. We did have confirmation that the power cord, it has to be the specific one for the power draw. Exactly what I said months ago when that first came out. We have larger analog sticks.
Hell yeah.
That some news outlets like the New York Times are reporting to be Hall effect, but we do not have confirmation. Nintendo would be stupid for not doing that, but it is Nintendo. So we'll find out later when, we're probably not going to know until people can take it apart. Hopefully that'll be the end of drift, because I have Hall effect sensors on my Switch because I switched out the sticks and I have not had drift in years. So
Goodbye, drift.
Drift, yeah. So audio is adjusted for better portable sound, but also features a 3D spatial audio via headphones or surround sound, which hopefully some developers use that. PlayStation has something very similar on the PS5, and then it just kind of went away. It's like nobody really uses it that much, weirdly. It's like, it's such a cool thing to have. So
like 3D movies. No.
The internal storage on the Switch too. We have jumped from 32 gigs to 256 gigs of internal memory. But not only is it more memory, but it is also faster memory.
That makes me think that they're expecting like large install sizes for like everything.
Oh, we'll get to that.
I'm about to say, surprisingly, some of these games are way smaller than you'd think they'd be. So,
and I'm also, since we're talking about the specs, we talked about the battery. I'm
going to talk about that in a minute.
Okay. All right.
For part of that, I don't have the exact specs on here, but I think I know what you've heard, and I can go over that for the 2 to 6 hour life. So yeah. For expandable memory, this only supports, as they reported before, micro SD express cards, because those have a read-write speed, as we talked about episodes back, equivalent to an SSD almost. Not as fast as what's in the Series X, or especially not the PS5, but still way faster than traditional SD cards, which is why it has to have that, because I think the developers are planning on that speed, which the internal memory, cartridge slot, and that SD card now support. So yeah, you're going to pay a little bit more for SD cards for a little bit as that becomes a more popular thing. But I think some of the games would not be possible without that faster memory, just like we're getting games that benefit on Series X and PS5 from that now.
And we'll work with up to 2 terabyte.
Yep. So that's a lot of space. And the beauty is, I mean, once that price comes down, micro SD cards can be swapped out. I don't think this will be hot swappable, but we'll have to see. I'll go ahead and talk about the battery because Rachel brought up a point on that one. So it was reported by Nintendo that you will get about 2 to 6 hours of gameplay out of this. Now, mind you, they gave about that same estimate with the original Switch because it all depends on what you're playing. If Steven is playing, Vampire Survivors at a reasonable 120 FPS, it's going to last a little while. Maybe not 120. Give him 60 FPS, and you probably get
a hog.
Yeah, Zelda, as we all remember, you can only get like 2 hours because it was, Breath of the Wild just tore that thing up. So some of these larger games are going to make it shorter. But I'm still half the time playing portably without a problem, even on my OLED and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to come down to what you play. If you play very graphic heavy and you're pushing it, yes, just like on a Steam Deck or anything else, you're going to shorten the life of that because you're on a battery. If you run your phone and you're watching movies with the speakers turned up while you've got the brightness at full max and, streaming stuff, your battery's going to go down faster than if you had the screen off and you're streaming audio that's on the memory card, So it's not that far off. It is a bigger battery than what the OLED and the original Switch has, but you're also running more power on it. So, but we're not going to get real world results from that until people can get them in their hands and start, stress testing it. So we'll have to see from there. Next up, we have the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controllers announced, which now have 2 programmable back buttons, GR and GL, along with a headphone jack. But they also did confirm that all of your existing Pro controllers will all work just fine.
Oh, that's nice.
As well as the GameCube controller adapter.
Yep, which is also awesome, which we'll talk about in a fun way later.
Yes.
You just won't get the chat button.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's still kind of neat, though. Joy-Con 2, which I love the fact they're calling it Joy-Con 2, will recognize when it's in mouse mode and controller mode by just simply laying it down and picking it up, which is great. I thought you'd have to hit a button. It's what we thought the C button might be, which would be terrible. It's better. So there's no need to change it in any kind of the options. This was shown during the Metroid Prime 4 demos. If you go back and watch those, they're literally playing it dual stick, and he just puts his hand down and it's a mouse, instantly, and then picks it back up and it goes. So it knows when it's got a surface on there, which makes me wonder if
Metroid Other M knew which way you were pointing the Wiimote. Brilliant. They can re-release that awesome game that's better than Metroid Prime 3. Anyway.
Oh my god, that would actually fix a lot of shit.
Can't fix the script.
No, you can't, but you can re-edit it or re-record it.
Twilight.
So, spec-wise, I think the Switch 2 is pretty impressive. Before we move on to that, anybody have any comments or other questions about this one? Nope, we all understand. Cool. So let's move on to some of the new features. All right.
Oh,
the one we've all been waiting for.
Oh, man, did I have some comments about this the moment I saw it.
What the F is the C button for? We know now.
Money.
It's for chat.
It's for game chat specifically.
It's short for game chat.
So this is basically like Nintendo's version of Discord.
Literally, the moment I saw it, I was like, what in the Discord UI do I see here?
Yeah, I'm wondering if they teamed up with Discord or if this is close enough to say Steven's thing of Discord being in there is right. I don't know. It's pretty close. It's like, hey, we've got Discord at home.
It's as close as you can get to having Discord on here without actually having Discord on here.
What's the meme we were talking about? It's Discord. No. It's legally distinct from Discord. But
yes.
It's Discord.
It's Dis Chat.
Dis Chat. Yes, I love that Godzilla meme. It's good for everything.
Austin Powers keeps giving us great stuff. Mm-hmm. So you can talk with up to 12 of your friends in a private group, which is crazy. There is no random chat. So you can't just be in a lobby and just talk to random people. I know people tried to, this is another, we're going to talk about misinformation. They were like, oh, kids are going to be on this. Immediately, someone's going to slap their dick out and you're going to have to look at it. And they're like, yeah, if they do that, the person, you can deal with it because you have to have them on your friends list and then enable the camera. And they were very clear right after they showed this off that the parental controls have been updated and you can see, you can have it where your kid has to get permission through your device anytime they want to chat with somebody.
Yep. I put that in the bullet point,
which is fantastic. I'm probably going to do that once Jennifer gets a Switch 2, just because if that option's available, I want to be able to control it. So I'm already glad the tool is there. But this is being turned on and off by the C button on the right Joy-Con too. This will bring up your menu so you can actually, it's a system level function, which means you can use this while playing any game, including backwards compatible titles, stuff like that. And when you're chatting, you don't have to all be playing the same game, which is great. So if all of us are playing Switch 2, we can just hop on and chat. So we're going to have to at least do one episode from that just to see how it works.
Oh man. I can't wait to try it out because like one of the things I love most is playing games with friends, even if we're playing different games, but we're still chatting. And I love that they made a point to showcase that in this thing.
Yes. So the Switch 2, one of the things we didn't mention earlier, does have a microphone built into it now. That the little hole by the controller or the cartridge slot that I talked about a couple episodes back, going like, hey, I think that might be a mouse or no, I can't talk today. A microphone port. Some people were iffy about it. Ha! I was right. It was a microphone.
You know, I do wonder though, and
Trust
I know they didn't really bring it up, and I'm not seeing it anywhere of the notes. And I know that it will remove background noise, which is the sound, the noise suppression system that NVIDIA
covered
uses.
that.
Yeah. But I do wonder if for like privacy stuff, like say you're in a house with like a bunch of people and you're wanting to play with your friends, but you don't want the audio coming through and all of that. Headphones.
Headset will work. Yep.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
you can use a headset and things like that. Yeah,
headset will actually act as noise canceling headphones.
Because I know that in watching this part, I didn't see that it wasn't immediately apparent that was going on. So I'm glad that they made a point to clarify that in other.
The main part of what they were trying to show was like, hey, we have the mic. You know, here's how it works. It automatically adjusts the gain. It knows, to listen for you. It knows how to cut out background noise because it's using some of the AI processing for that. But a lot of that does get applied when you plug it in, either into the headphone jack on the Switch itself or onto the Pro controller, which thankfully now has a damn headphone jack, which is great. Also about the controllers earlier, I meant to mention the Switch 1 Joy-Cons also connect and work. So any game, there's some games that require a Switch 1 Joy-Con, like Ring Fit and so forth. They work. You're good to go.
Yeah, you cannot play WarioWare Move It with a Joy-Con 2 because it does not have an IR sensor.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, but you can still play. You just got to sync up a controller.
Same thing with Ring Fit because, as well as the leg strap, there's no IR sensor to test your heart rate.
And it won't clip into the ring because it won't physically clip into it. So, let's see what else we had here. Now, there's also a camera accessory that they showed off, which, mind you, the camera's going for about $50. And I know some people were kind of upset by that. It's like, it doesn't look like a bad camera. The beauty is you don't have to use theirs. Because good news, Hori's making one that's shaped like a piranha plant, and I freaking want it.
Oh, I know. It looks so good.
Steven, go ahead.
And what people don't seem to notice until they kind of read into it a little more, that camera actually picks up on multiple faces and puts them where they need to go.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's got a wide angle lens. So if you're all sitting on the couch together, it's going to take all four of you and put you in your places. It's going to put you in your place exactly where you need to be. So it's got some nice tech there. It's not just an eye toy, which I thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar ideas, but it actually works. Yeah. So the webcam, I call it a webcam, but I like the fact it's not proprietary. So there are other models that can possibly work. If you want to try one you've got at home to see how it goes, you can see if it works. If not, you can pick up Nintendo's, or there's third-party ones coming out. One thing talking about privacy mode, though, the Piranha Plant one, you can shut his little mouth and he's no longer a camera, which is great. And he's in a little pipe stand, and you can just unplug him from the pipe. And he's got a little USB-C part, and you can plug him directly into the top of the Switch too, and have a little Piranha Plant sitting there as your camera. It's just too damn adorable. I have to have this. Hori makes the best stuff. But yeah, you can do voice only. You can do camera feeds. You can do live game feeds, which is great. So you can actually share what you're playing if you need help with something, or you just want to show what's going on, or you can mix the feeds how you want. So like you can have your game feed with you overlaid on it, almost like a Twitch stream, where it's using the AI to cut you out and put you in a background. And I have to say, I appreciate the fact that Nintendo showed this exactly how it would run. Terrible frame rate for other people's feeds and all. They did not make this look like everything was buttery smooth. they were like, you could see resolution drops, you could see frame drops. It was running like 10 FPS. But mind you, this is a portable handheld device that is streaming out what you're doing and streaming in like 4 other people's stuff.
While still keeping your screen buttery smooth.
Yes.
Right. So,
I was
realize
wondering,
that's impressive.
with it, like, with that, I was like, oh, okay. I wonder if it's doing any stream support. That was my first thought when I was doing this. I was like, oh, I wonder if it's doing like stream support. That would be an interesting thing that you could do with people natively through it. So I wonder. I doubt it, but I do wonder.
Yeah, they haven't talked about any kind of stream integration. I don't think there's going to be.
I don't think so either.
I think you'll be able to do your clips and you can stream stuff between each other. But I think if you're going to record it or stream it, it's going to be one person has it connected to their Switch. You'll have their other views, which aren't going to be great, but the audio never seemed to drop, which is important. So you can always talk to each other. And it seemed to work pretty well if they were just doing the cameras and things. So I guess it's just depending on how much it's streaming.
There is a second video you can watch now. It's over 5 minutes long.
Nice.
That they show more instances of how it can be used. So it's nice.
I think it's going to be kind of a fun one for us to mess around with because, once again, if we, like Rachel said, if we're playing something and if we're all playing something different, we can still hop on there and talk. We don't have to be playing the same thing, which is awesome. I do wonder just because, how do you prevent spoilers if someone's just like, I'm going to share my camera and I'm at a boss fight for a game you haven't seen yet. And you're like, turn it off.
There's a report feature. There is.
Well, at that point, you have to be friends with these people. You just yell at them. Don't do that.
But you can report them too if they're being a-hole.
Yeah, if they're being dicks about it, I get it. I'm just saying someone's going to forget and just do that. One of the other things that there's a big uproar about is the fact that this service, the chat, requires you have an active Nintendo Switch Online account, which the whole reason that this has become a problem for some people is they're upset because they're like, oh, well, if you don't have the service, you have a button on your system that does nothing.
Oh, boo-hoo.
And it's like, it doesn't do nothing. That's how you can control the options for the camera. Even if you're not using the chat does have to have online.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're using this and say you're all playing Mario Party and you're using that camera, you can mute it. You can stop the video. You can do all that stuff from that point. So it has a function even without the service.
But also, boo-hoo.
So it also stands for camera and chat.
That's true.
It's dual purpose.
See? But if you don't have Nintendo Switch Online, which if you're buying a Switch 2, I don't see why in the world you wouldn't at this point.
Think of all the benefits.
But if you don't, it's fair. It will be free for the chat until March 31st, 2026 for people to try it. So you get to see if this is something you want to use. So, once again, parental controls are in there. So that's good to have. All right, let's move on to the next little feature here. This I never thought would come back. It was one of my favorite functions of the Nintendo DS and 3DS, and I'm so happy. It's not Street Pass, sadly, but GameShare. So you can now play a game and share it with up to 3 people locally, and these do have to be titles that support it, but we have some fun ones that have been announced. You can have one copy of the game and share it with the other 3 to play. The beauty of this is you can also do this online through GameChat for games that support it. You can also do this locally with a mix of Switch 1 and 2 systems. So there are certain Switch titles that will get this, which I have a couple of them. One of which I actually bought twice just to be able to do this. So this would have saved me a whole other purchase. The first game that's getting the update is Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics, which is a chef's kiss selection. It is one of my favorite
It's a great game to start with. A perfect way to showcase this.
Because it has, you can have chess where each person, 2 people play from their own view. Card games, like their version of Uno and stuff like that everybody now can have their own view of the cards. So you can do all these different things off of one copy of the title. Some of the other ones that are getting this update is Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Super Mario Odyssey. I guess somebody can just be Cappy. I don't know. And then Big Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain, which will be updated later.
What if you could be Cappy, but what if someone can be Peach?
Well, I don't think it's getting
like
that kind of update.
You mean like leave halfway through and not come back until the end of the level?
Yeah. She has her own adventure.
She does. Some future Switch 2 only titles will also have this integrated, which one has already been announced. And I'm trying to remember to go down here and find the name of it, because it is a launch title that I'm going to be definitely getting for sure. Crap, I just forgot where it was.
We'll get to it. We'll give everybody a surprise later.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah, I'll get to it, but it's great. It's one of my favorite series that I've been playing since they had a version on the Wii, the 3DS, the Wii U, and the Switch. I bought every one of them and love them.
They are a Wii U darling that stayed with them all this time.
Before we announce this next thing, Rachel's mystical powers of manifestation strike again.
All right, so let's
I
move on
manifested
to
this one.
our next surprise. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. I'm here to hit the button.
How dare you?
My bad.
Hit the C button.
Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Classics.
You're welcome, world.
They've changed the name, so technically Rachel's wrong. She wanted Nintendo Switch Online, Nintendo GameCube, but they changed the name.
Oh, whatever. Same difference.
Rachel's
potato,
right.
Potato. I'm right. I manifested it. You're welcome.
No offense, Rachel. This is the safest of the safe bets.
Literally, but remember, I've been talking about this for how long?
But the titles they picked threw me for a loop. I did not see some of these coming.
See, Wind Waker.
We're gonna go through it. So, launch day. This is coming out the day the Switch 2 launches. So immediately, Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, but it's the original version.
A given.
Yeah, but it's not the HD version.
No,
which is surprising. But still,
horrible.
Huh?
That one looks horrible compared to this one. It's the better looking Wind Waker. It's the better looking Wind Waker that plays like shit because of the sea exploration.
The sea exploration works even better in the Wii U version because of the faster
the Wii U
sailing
version
and stuff.
fixed it, but we're not getting that. We're getting
we're getting this one.
Wind Waker with the shitty sea
Listen, Steven.
Anyways.
Steven, you can't have both. You can't have both.
That's why I said Monkey's Paw.
It'll cause a time paradox.
We're getting
we'll all die.
Monkey's Paw edition. I understand. Yes.
You're killing me, man. All right. Next up, Soul Calibur 2.
Never saw this coming, but I'm kind of glad that we're getting it in this way because there's so many people out there who have not played this. My friends who have not heard of this version of Soul Calibur. And yes, exactly. And also it's harder to get. This game is hard to find.
I have all three versions of it, including the weird PS2 one that had a character that didn't even have a weapon and a weapons fighting game.
But the GameCube one specifically is hard to find. So
really?
Down here it is. I have not seen it like down here.
Well, I've never looked for it because I've had this thing since the day it came out.
If you have it, but if you were looking for it, you wouldn't see it because it's nowhere.
I was there day one.
but I was like, all my friends that like fighting games who haven't played this, now you can play it soon if you get the Switch too. So,
well, the beautiful thing with this, to add it in there, all of these games have full 4-player multiplayer support online. So we can play them.
Soul Calibur. I think that's probably only going to be 2.
Well, yeah, Soul Calibur, you know what I mean. Yeah. But they can support up to 4-player online for the titles that use it. Steven.
This next one,
you wind-waking hating mother.
This next one made me go,
the next one,
all right,
F-Zero GX. We are finally getting that has 4-player online multiplayer. You happy now, Steven? You semantic.
Yes. One of my have the AX support. We don't know yet.
So every single
unlock that.
Every single time there was like a Nintendo Direct for the last year. One of my friends.
Are we getting F-Zero?
Well, no. Well, yeah. Literally, one of my friends was like, "When will F-Zero return from the war?" And when I saw this, because they were not they weren't watching the Direct because they were at work, and all I said was, F-Zero has returned from the war. And they went, what? And I went, watch it on your lunch break. You'll thank me. And they did. They
And
did.
it still looks fantastic. All the GameCube games run at a higher resolution.
It looks good.
Yeah, they do feature full widescreen support. So if the game supported it, you can turn it on, which is great because Soul Calibur 2 had a widescreen mode. So they're all going to be running at the higher frame rate and all that stuff that they originally had the option for. Now they have a short list of GameCube games that are going to be coming out soon,
Scalpers.
which also, yeah, this is basically screwing over scalpers and collectors that spend a lot, which is great. So Super Mario Sunshine, which is the original version, not the enhanced one that was on the collection, but still the same game. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. I know how much this one costs because we did buy it, and it was like $125. It's the only Fire Emblem I don't personally own. I own all the other ones, but Jeremy Jr. owns the GameCube one, and I told him, "Don't worry, when I die, you can have the other Fire Emblems as long as you don't kill me." So,
permadeath.
Right? If I die by his hand, he doesn't get Fire Emblem.
Do you have that as like an addendum written into your will or something? Like, in the event of my death, if my death was caused by X person, they do not get the following. If my death was natural causes, they do get this. Can you imagine?
Yeah, if it's one of those things
Have
where
you
it's
been
like
reading Steve's will?
If John, my youngest, kills me, he doesn't get my Metroid games, but there's an addendum that Caleb then gets all my Metroid stuff.
So what you're saying is Caleb is going to arrange your death, make it look like your son did it, and then he gets all the Metroid games.
And statues and everything else. Yeah, he'd be for it.
If you kill me, you get Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
God damn it.
Oh man. Continuing on, we have Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness.
I'm glad for this because I don't
have this.
Well, I don't have it either. I have Coliseum.
Yeah.
But I don't have this one, and I've always wanted to play it, and every time I come across it, it's like $200, and I'm like, no thank you.
And that's already maybe halfway to a Switch 2.
I know, right?
We have Super Mario Strikers, which I see that being a very popular a very popular online game if the online works correctly for it.
Mm-hmm.
Chibi Robo.
I'm excited for this.
Amanda got excited. She loves that series. Mm-hmm. And Amanda does not play games that much.
And this next one, now we know on the continuous times that I asked for it, for them to port this to the Switch.
Why they didn't.
Now I know why they didn't.
Yep, Luigi's Mansion. And then lastly, Pokemon Coliseum. So
it does make me wonder, when we got that collection that now no one is going to care about because Super Mario Sunshine is going to be on here, or at least marginally.
You still got Galaxy.
We got Galaxy, which makes me wonder, do you think that they would do a similar collection for the Switch 2, but with other Mario games that are from older consoles? And
I hope they would. I mean, they've got other titles they could pull from.
Like Galaxy 2, for example.
Speaking of that collection, I saw it at GameStop. I don't know if you can see the sticker. It's too bright. It's $119 now, which is just stupid.
I will hold on to mine and keep it forever and play it until I die.
I'm going to borrow some of Rachel's powers and say by at least a year or two, I'll give them at least 2 years to do this. But we're going to get a Wii Classics because the mouse is basically just a Wiimote. So,
you know what? I will help manifest that for you. Start thinking of games you want, and I'll put it out there into the ether.
1 and 2, that's how we're going to get Zack and Wiki to come back. That's how we're going to get these games back, guys.
Listen, I will be all over that, like Zack and Wiki. Absolutely.
So one game that I would like to have added to this list, I'm sure we could all think of some GameCube games. Who remembers Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg?
Absolutely. I just thought of that.
That would be a great addition for this to have.
They're going to have to get a certain entity involved in order to do this, but I think they'd be willing. You already know what I'm going to say. It's Skies of Arcadia.
Skies of Arcadia Legends.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Skies of Arcadia's Dreamcast.
Yes.
Now, getting a Dreamcast on here would be phenomenal, but we got GameCube.
That would be fun. But
along with these wonderful GameCube games, we are also getting a new Nintendo Switch Online GameCube controller, which is adding a C button at the top so we can use chat. And then also you can plug in the controller with USB to make it a wired controller. But also note that the GameCube wired adapters that were originally made on the Wii U and then later for Switch for Smash Brothers works with this too.
I'm only gonna ask one game to be added to this list. I could talk about the Sonic GameCube games until I'm blue in the face, which I want. But
You're gonna say Cubivore.
But exactly. But here's mine.
That's another one of mine. Yeah.
Mario Kart Double Dash.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Why
don't
not?
know if...
They put Mario Kart 64 on N64 one.
Yeah, but that's
only after 8 had been out for a while.
Yes.
I think that they're going to want people to play the new one.
I know, but I want it on there eventually. It doesn't have to be right away.
I think eventually is fair. I think we will get it eventually. It would be at least, I would say, 2 years.
Yeah, that's fine. That is
Probably
perfectly fine. Until then, they can work with Sega and get Sonic Heroes on there.
I like Steven's Cubivore, though.
Cubivore.
Chase, you got any GameCube games you want to see on here?
No, they already gave me mine. That I paid an exorbitant amount of money for.
Chris, what about you?
Probably Time Splitters 2.
Ooh.
God, that would be so good for the multiplayer.
That's a good.
Wasn't there that other one, Chase? You can get the Advance Wars game too.
Oh, Battalion Wars?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one.
That one. That was
a
good one.
I'm like looking back at my GameCube titles, trying to think what else they could put on there.
We'll have to make an episode about that, the Wish episode.
I just like how Nintendo.
It's
like how Nintendo was like.
On there.
Go ahead, Jason. Nintendo said, "Oh, you guys like your GameCube controller? Yeah, we love it. But does your GameCube controller have a C button?"
It's only got a C stick.
Well, I like the fact from behind it almost looks like a Wavebird. Like the way that the grip is on it. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, cool.
Well, you know what's funny? For those people that have the GameCube like adapter thing that came out for Smash Bros or whatever, and they can continue to use that. And I can already see, what if you want to use the chat? It's like, you're going to reach over to your docked console and you're going to press the C button. That's what you're going to do.
Yeah, you'll still have another controller. Go ahead, Steven.
I implore people who are not in the US to check the fine print for the NSO GameCube controller, because here in the US it's one per account, so each Nintendo account can go on and buy one. In the UK, though, it specifically says on their website you must buy the system through them to be able to purchase the controller.
What?
Well, it kind of makes sense, because they want to make it available, but if you're not buying a Switch 2, why would you need it right now? So they're trying to save it for people that actually buy a Switch 2 that will have this available.
So here we're allowed to get it for every account we have that can pay for it. But over in the UK, it's no. You have to buy the system to get it. So, okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good breakaway to talk about some other stuff here.
Oh, yeah.
So I know we talked some about the pre-order stuff before we get into the games. I'm going to hold us off on the pre-order situation here. And I thought this was kind of interesting because people lost their mind. And I want to ask you guys, once I list this out, how fair you think this is. So Nintendo of America they let you sign up for an email that they're going to send out starting May 8th to get a Switch 2, because they've got a pretty good stock of them here. But you have to have the following conditions met to get it. And this is all to stop scalpers, because they said they were coming up with an idea to do that. So you have to have an active Nintendo Switch Online account, 12 months. You have to have at least 50 hours of gameplay registered to it, which means you also have to have it. Say what?
And it has to be shared with them.
That's what I say. That also means because it has to be shared with them. Which I'm pretty sure mine is. I get the holiday thing, so they know what I'm playing and all that fun stuff. And
the holiday thing?
Remember during the holiday, it's like what you've been playing, and it shows like the list of like how many hours, what you played most, stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, it says it on my profile, I guess. Oh wait, I didn't get a holiday thing. I don't know.
Oh, you may not be sharing it then.
I don't know. I think I am. I have to be, because I get.
Well, the other thing is they only allow one per account, and you have to be the head of that account. So I'm the head of my account on the family group for mine. I've definitely got 50 hours in. Good God. I'll just show you my Mario Kart numbers or Smash Brothers, and you can leave me alone. I'm definitely going to want to get it. So I feel it's fair, because
the biggest, fairest thing is that once you're selected, you have 72 hours to shake somebody down for the money because you have to pay it in full.
Yep. So that's our contingency plan. If whenever the pre-orders come back up, if I can't get one, I'll wait and get it through Nintendo in May.
All I can say is plasma donations are going to go through the roof. Red Cross, watch out.
Oh, man. So I'll ask each of you how you feel about this. Chris, we'll start with you, if you think this is fair.
Well, if the pre-order goes through, I'm going to feel very jaundiced. But aside from that, it's a step. Scalpers have been a problem for Nintendo and the Pokemon Company for quite some time.
Oh,
so
God.
it may not be the best solution.
The industry as a whole.
Yes. It's not the best solution, but it's a solution. So we'll have to see how it works before anything else.
Okay. Chase, what about you?
I mean, if I was back in the States, I'd probably say no, just because of the fact that technically I'm not the head of the account.
Sorry.
So in that case, it's like, okay, well, so you screwed me out of one, but since I'm over here,
God damn it!
And that, children, is Chris remembering.
That.
And that's Chris remembering he's not the head of that family plan in real time.
So, just an update. I am sharing my data usage with Nintendo, so I guess I'm okay.
Yeah.
You had to have sent it the email because it's first come, first serve. So they had sent a link
still go
out.
to the email now and
you can still add to it. Yeah.
Like, what?
It's still, I think, a lottery system. So,
it's lottery in Japan, but it's
I don't know what
it's
email
first come,
you're
first
talking
serve.
about.
Well, it's not an email. It's through Nintendo.com.
Just go to
Their website.
Nintendo.com and then scroll down to like where to get, and it shows the Switch 2.
I think we even had it listed in the Discord, but
check out our Discord.
I'm on
Yeah.
my Nintendo. I don't
It's full of
know.
Nintendo news.
we'll have
enough
to look
make
and
it
see.
blow up.
So while Rachel is desperately trying to get a Switch 2, Steven, what about you?
I think this is fair because
You're the head of the group.
overall,
Yeah.
the only other people.
because he's the head of the account.
Boo!
This is super fair.
Oh, yeah, I
Fuck
did.
my
I did
friends.
register.
Who gives a shit? I get a Switch too. That's all that matters.
I did register on the 2nd of this month. So
Awesome. Good.
I'm good.
All right.
Not
That's
just because of that account thing. Before I even read that, the fact that you had to have the account and play for more than 50 hours automatically locked out scalpers. So even that alone was good enough because like they could all sign up for accounts. What are they going to do? Rush to do 50 hours of gameplay?
Well,
No,
that was
we
the
don't have
trigger.
time for that. They're scalpers.
Well, that was the thing. It was 50 hours before that day. So they announced it at the same time as the cutoff.
So I was like, brilliant, because the only other hope I had for pre-order is Best Buy, because Best Buy does a terms of a queue that gives you a code, allows you in, gives you like a certain number of time to buy it, and it's not like GameStop and it's not like Target where you're just hitting refresh and like Chase has found out with Amiibos, like the one time it doesn't charge your card or it charges your card and there's not enough money at that date and time, it says, well, your whole order's canceled, fuck off.
Yep.
So I was just like, it's down to Best Buy and Nintendo being like the best choices right now, I think.
Yeah.
That's pretty much mine.
I will say, as a warning to anybody thinking of importing it, because it is
Yes.
over $100 cheaper in Japan. Japan has
Why is that, Steven?
yen and tariffs.
No, they did something else too, which I
But
know you're about to go
they have
into.
3 editions. They still have a regular and a Mario Kart bundle. However, make sure what you're buying, because there is a Japanese language only system that is their cheapest one, that is region locked. Japanese games only. But in Japan, they also sell a multi-language system that's closer to our price range, but still cheaper. But that one plays all the games. So over in Japan, they're making sure you know what you buy, and 2, please don't import Switch 2 systems. We're going to make sure it's not as attractive by region locking some of them.
So the one caveat to that, when I looked into it, it can still play the games, but the only language on the system is Japanese. So you would have to be fluent in Japanese to use it, but you can still play stuff. The other caveat is it only supports a Japanese Nintendo online account.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to have a local Japanese account, not just like a secondary. Like I have a Japanese account on my Switch to play Japanese Nintendo Switch Online and a European one for the same reason.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It's
To be clear,
just
the US
Japan.
version is all multi-language,
Yeah.
so we are not affected by this weird skew. So don't worry, guys.
Yes. And finally,
important.
Rachel, how do you feel about this whole deal for getting it? Obviously, you've made it through, so you must have some thoughts on it.
Oh, with the Nintendo thing? Well, I
With
mean,
the
I
pre-order,
signed up. I signed up for both of the lists, both Best Buy and
Mhm.
Nintendo.
Yep.
Because I know that one, there's, we already got a stockpile. Like they're already here. I'm pretty sure a good bit of them. Like
I hope so. Yeah.
Well, they're running all of those like preview, like development, like demo things all around the country, and I believe one of them was happening today because
Yeah, they
Let's
started.
check the
They started
Nintendo
Friday.
Today app.
yeah, like a Nintendo rep that I know was demoing that Donkey Kong game
Nice.
today. So I was like, oh, okay, so that's cool.
Well, as of yesterday, it was New York and Paris.
Yes,
They
that's
have
where
a
he
day
is.
off
It's New York.
today, and then next Friday they'll be in London and LA.
Mm-hmm.
The Nintendo Today app is actually kind of handy for this stuff.
It is very handy for this kind of stuff. It'll also be really handy for when they decide, oh yeah, no, let them pre-order.
Let them have Switch 2.
We'll watch videos on YouTube later on of the absolute madhouse of people trying to pre-order Nintendo Switches, and Carmina Burana will be playing in the background. It'll be just like old times.
Yes.
I miss it.
All right. So we all want to pre-order a Switch 2, as we've determined, but now we're going to find out what in the hell we're going to play on it.
What
So
games
let's
are we
dive
playing,
into
guys?
the games.
Nintendo Switch 2 has games.
It does.
It does.
All right. So all of these games, and we're going to have to break in to talk about another type of the media that we didn't talk about earlier about the key cards, but we'll get to that. So first up, we're going to start with the launch day titles. And I'm just going to go through them. If you have an interest for this, please raise your hand. Chris, just press a button because I can't see your hand on the little dot because you don't exist. First off, we got Mario Kart World. Yes, just like that, Chris. We have Mario Kart World, which is great, which we're getting more information direct coming April 17th.
I'm so excited for this.
Yes. Rachel, you look I think you wanted to say something.
Either
that or you're having a bad active seizure.
For those of you who don't know, those of you listening that do not know, Mario Kart is one of my favorite games to play ever. When I don't know what to play, I will race a few things on Mario Kart. That's what I will do. Mario Kart 8 specifically is my current one that I play a lot. Before that, it was Double Dash. If I could play Double Dash portably, I would. But this, I'm ready to kick so many people's asses in this game. Oh my God. I am pumped for this. It's going to be a good time. Breath of the Mario Kart.
So many characters. I did confirm Lucky 2 is in there, and so is apparently everything else that's ever been in a damn Mario game, it
There's
seems.
only one character missing.
Who's missing?
Just remember, everybody, Moo Cow made it in before EGAD ever got at it. And he's still not in it.
Maybe he'll be a bonus.
Well, they didn't. It doesn't seem like they're putting in Mario extension games other than
they're putting in random enemies from the background, though.
Yeah.
You can be a penguin.
You can be the crab.
A bat.
Listen. They're Pauline's in there, which is great.
Yeah.
And
you could be the freaking coin purse.
You could be the coin chopper.
Mm-hmm. The little duck-looking thing on the beach that flips you.
Yep.
That's in there. You can. How is it driving? I don't know.
I would love for them to put EGAD in there, but only if he's riding on a vacuum.
EGAD's got the Waluigi smash curse. He ain't going in there. He'll be in the background somewhere.
Probably. We'll get EGAD and Smash before we get Waluigi.
We'll get Goku and Smash before we get.
This next title, I want to play. But I got some weird thoughts. So, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, the game that should frickin' have been a pack-in. Come on, Nintendo.
Yeah, $5. So that's something.
We
it's
think
something.
It is. I put the $5 to $6 because the Japanese cost leaked, and it converted over to like $5 and some change. So I put $5 to $6, which, okay, I know there's a lot of stuff in this, including some hilarious guess the frame rate or how they show the 4K screen by letting you play the first level of Super Mario Brothers, and as you go along, it just makes the whole level. Which I'm like, okay, that's cute.
Guess that frame rate. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun.
But come on, Sony gave us Astrobot, like in Playroom. That is an amazing pack-in that has become its own good series. And all right, give us this one. Give us a Switch 2 Welcome Tour, and then charge us and make like one of these for the classic systems. Give me a GameCube one. Give me one for the Wii, the Wii U, the old Switch. Like, I would love to dig in and see the nerdy stuff.
Program.
I'd pay for those. I would. That would be great. I'll pay more for them, but just this feels like it should be a pack-in. At least for the launch ones.
You know what? Somebody out there probably went, you know what could we charge them for?
Yeah. This is the one I'm like, okay, Nintendo, what the hell? I know they're supposed to be like a shit ton of like little demos and mini games and other stuff, but they are going to have to pack this thing slam full to make me not go, well, I paid $5 or $6 because I wanted to cover it on the show. I want to not regret this. So we'll see. Moving on to our next, Street Fighter 6 Standard or Street Fighter 6 Years 1+2 Fighters Edition. So,
okay.
I'm excited as hell.
I don't play fighting games.
So I know.
You guys have
except
fun.
For, hey, you were going to play Soul Calibur.
All right, I'll play it. I'll play Soul Calibur. That's a product of a different time.
It is. Go ahead, Steven.
If you don't mind, I'll take this one.
Okay,
go ahead.
I want to go through some of it because this is a big one I'm ordering. I'll talk about the amiibos, but go ahead.
Yeah, this one is a lot to cover. So
Yes.
It is going to be offered in 2 editions. One is digital only, and that is the standard edition. But there will be a physical, in quotations. I'll go over that, called the Years 1+2 Fighters Edition,
which is the one I'm getting.
26 playable characters.
Mm-hmm.
There will be full cross-play available, so you can play with everybody on all the systems,
which is great.
There will be 3 new amiibo of Luke, Jamie, and Kimberly at $30 a piece.
Those are going to sell out.
I'm already trying to get them.
At least 20% larger than your normal amiibo, so they are bigger. They're almost statuesque. There will also be a 22-card amiibo starter set box, so they are not like the Animal Crossing cards where you had to get like random cards. It's more like the Hello Kitty pack you got for Animal Crossing that gave you the whole set right off the bat.
Which is good.
This is just to begin, so that means more can come out of them. Expansion packs, what have you. They will give you everything from your custom costumes for each fighter for the card, as well as like your button setups. They will unlock exclusive background music, some device wallpaper, photo frames. They'll give you character-specific wallpapers and photo frames. You get the nice art on the cards. It will also support the, if you still have them, a lot of people do, the Ryu and Ken amiibos right off the bat. So while you're waiting, or if you can't get Luke, Jamie, and Kimberly, you can still use Ryu and Ken to do all the stuff I just covered, as well as some exclusive stuff. But the big thing is this was the first game that was found out to be called a key card release, which we're going to go over some other games that are like that as well.
There's 2 that have been announced so far.
So with a key card release, the card itself is physical. You will get a physical game cart. However, the game is not on the card. The license to play the game is on the card.
Correct.
It will basically tell you on the front of the box art, it'll show a picture of a key, as well as tell you how many gigs of space it needs. So right off the store shelf, without ever asking somebody to open the case, you can read the front, see how much space you need, and know that it is not included on the cart. However, the misconception people are getting is it's just digital. It's a code in a box. This is actually more than that, so it does have added value. This is more like giving you something now that while you do have to download it, it is similar to games like Street Fighter on PS5, Street Fighter 6, and other games that even tell you on the back that the internet is required and it takes a 55 gigabyte installation to play. These are very similar to that, even in the way that even though the game's not on the card, you can still trade in this game and you can still resell it. Just know that once the game is installed, you still have to have the key card, the physical card, in the system to play it. You cannot just put the key card in, install the game, trade off the game. No, you need the card in there at all times to play.
So it's
this
kind of
is-
like a PC game.
This is basically kind of kind of something that they've negotiated, it seems, with developers. It is their choice to do so. We're going to go over some people who have decided not to do it, like
CD Projekt Red.
Like Project Red. Thank you. And then
I knew that's what you were going for.
Other companies like
Square
Konami
Enix
and Square Enix that on some titles they're like, no, we're going to do it differently. And depending on the value they're giving, some of them will give you a lower priced game. Games can go as low as $40 and still be a Switch 2 game because it's a key card release. So it's going to be very important in the future that when you look at retailers, you don't just look at preliminary box art. You either look at the box art physically in your hand that sees if it has the key card symbol on there.
Yeah, it's an actual key icon that you see in the bottom left.
Or you see if some retailers are starting to update their listings. We have recently seen that PlayAsia now has some Switch 2 pre-orders open on some games, and they are actually showing you on there because they have been told by the publishers and the distributors that it is a key card release or a full game cart release. So again,
that's good to know.
You're still getting a game you can play and resell. It is not a code in the box. For all we know right now, code in the boxes will not be in physical boxes on Switch 2 because this key card release designation exists.
Yes. Because the biggest benefit, like if you've got other people in your house or friends that you want to share, you can put that game in, download it, you can play it. You only ever have to go online the one time, which is just when it downloads. After that, you could never be on the internet again and you have the game. But if I take that cartridge out, give it to one of my kids, they put it in their Switch 2, they just have to go online and download it because it's supposed to not be attached to your account.
Correct.
So it just downloads and you both have the game. You both can't play it. You have to have the cartridge so you can switch it back and forth, it's a digital game that has at least the benefits of a physical title. It's a better deal than just a code in a box because once you use that code, you're stuck with it. You're
stuck with a box.
Yeah. You have an extra case for something else and you can't give it to anybody. So it's not ideal, but it's better than it could be. And I don't mind it for Street Fighter because I already know, because I'm buying this one, I already know it's not the complete game. It's not going to be the complete game. They've got more fighters coming out and stuff like that. Like it's going to be worked on. It's a growing game. So be it. I'll get that edition and maybe they'll release a complete one later. Capcom does that on occasion. That'll be great. I'll buy that if they do. Mortal Kombat does the same thing. I never buy Mortal Kombat when they come out anymore. I wait for their complete edition for the last couple of games and I'm good. So, and this is where people came up with a misconception where they're like, oh, well, all the games aren't on the cards. That's not true. Like so far, I think, Steven, you pointed out one more. I think we know of 3 games that are key cards right now. Yes. Everything else is either digital only or it is on a cartridge complete. So get that fear out of your head, for a lot of that. And I'm going to go one quick run through of all the rumors at the end, so I have something to clip. But yeah, so Street Fighter 6 coming out. It looks amazing. I can't wait to play this. I will be able to take it with me and practice and do stuff, but also the crossplay is great. So that'll be a benefit.
And if you just want to have fun with your kids and have them play Street Fighter, they do have a motion control mode as well as a calorie counter to see who can do more waggling.
Yeah, it's like it's not your calories, but the calories of the character. Yep, it's correct. Weird. Capcom loves putting weird modes in Street Fighters that come to Nintendo. Do you remember Street Fighter 4 on the 3DS? Like you could play it in first-person mode with 3D on. Yeah, it was so weird. Oh man. All right. So next up we have Split Fiction, which we're all aware of. That's coming to the Switch 2 on launch. Game that shall not be named, but it has mouse controls, which was hilarious because they showed the person. They were like, it's got mouse controls, and they're waving their hand around and beating a person into the ground. And I was like, that is the most violent way to show that. You saw this, Rachel, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you laugh out loud watching that?
I was just like, the accuracy.
Oh man.
Quite literally, there's a thing that you did, and then you literally just decimate them into the ground. Yeah, that's
That's
you know,
fantastic.
it's normal, absolutely normal.
Oh God, go ahead, Steven.
Quick aside, really quick on the
Yes.
game. I did find out that if you, I gotta show Chris this though. If you try to attack the cats, the cat will cast a Avada Kedavra on you. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
That's
So
terrifying.
you cannot. If you try to attack cats, the cat kills you. And I was like, I watched the video of that and I thought that was amazing.
Wow,
All cats should have that power.
that's great. Next up, we had Hitman World of Assassination Signature Edition. I might get this one eventually. It looks like it'd be kind of fun.
Got a pre-order bonus right now that you can get the Mario and Luigi colors.
Huh.
Nice.
So
Is this
you
a
can
physical
you
or
can be
digital only?
Luigi, and you can take down your target of some kind of, I don't know, CEO of a building. So it'll be really cool.
Yeah, someone was saying they should have a Luigi versus Dr. Mario thing. Do we know if Hitman's getting a physical release or is it digital only?
If I knew there was a physical, I put it in the notes. If I
Okay.
didn't know, then I didn't put.
Yeah, I wasn't sure on that one. Next, this is the other key card game is Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster. This one, mouse controls for new modes, the Luxembourg Rhythm Catch and Ring a Bell's Panic Cruise, which look like fun little mini games to add on to it. You can connect with your friends, kind of like you could with the Street Pass in the original version. So you can use that to help build up stuff and do things. I'm guessing this is just kind of Square being cheap because this is only an 11 gig game, yet they wanted to make it a key card. So good. Okay, Square. Like, I don't know. So be it. This next one, Steven, Chase, and I are going to be getting and playing as fast as we humanly can. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, which is getting physical and digital. Thank you for confirming that, Steven. This will have the series' first multiplayer online red light raid mode with 60 unlockable characters. It has English voiceovers as an option. They've added 26 minutes of added cutscenes and is a confirmed Switch 2 game that runs at 4K 60 FPS, which even the PS4 Pro was not able to do originally when this came out. So it looks so good. All the arcade games are still in there. They were playing Outrun and some of the other stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. Deltarune chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is going to be $25 for the set, is coming out. Once again, it's a series I want to play, but I want to wait for the game to be finished and then I'll get it.
You might be waiting a long time.
Okay, fair enough. I think my kids play it. Go ahead, Steven.
Chris, do you want to elaborate what the 25 for the set gets you?
Oh, yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Oh, that's true. It gets you chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chapters 1 and 2 are already free and available to play. So chapters 3 and 4 are the new chapters that people have been waiting a very long time for.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So a lot of people are very interested in this. And not only that, you, by getting this, are also getting any future updates. So technically, you're buying the entire game and any DLC.
Oh, that's $25
All
isn't
free
bad.
updates.
$25 isn't bad at all, then. Okay.
Yeah.
Following that, we had Civilization 7 Nintendo Switch 2 edition with the mouse controls. Chase, if you want to get that. Survival Kids. This is a resurrected 1999 Konami IP for up to 4 players online, with the last one, I believe, being a Game Boy Color title.
So I looked it up, and the first 2 were on Game Boy Color, and then it evolved into Lost in Blue, which got 3 games on the DS
and Wii.
Then it got Shipwrecked on the Wii.
Yep.
And now if you're turning back to Survival Kids, still by Konami.
I did not know those. I have the Survival, the blue ones, the DS and the Wii ones. So I did not know it's the same series. This one was a big surprise for me, both for being announced and how well it actually runs. It's Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition. So this is confirmed all on cartridge. It's a 64 gig cart that they're using. It's been developed directly by CD Projekt Red. They did not farm this out like they did for Witcher 3. They're doing this themselves. They then confirmed that cloud saves are supported. So if you're already playing this on another system, be it PC, Xbox, or PlayStation, you can just upload your save to the cloud, download it onto here, and go back and forth. So you don't even have to start a new game if you don't want to. You can just keep going back and forth, which is great. It's going to have 2 visual modes. It's going to have a 30 FPS or somewhere around 25 to 30, they said, FPS like graphics mode, and then a 40 FPS performance mode, which is locked in pretty well with that. And with the VRR, or the variable refresh rate screen, it smooths out that motion really well. So, but this will have all the content, all the expansions, the updates, all that stuff is there. So if you've never played it, this is a surprisingly good way to jump into it from what I've seen. And then they had a rush of a couple other games. Kanitsugami, Path of the Goddess, physical in Japan on a key card. So I guess this one was confirmed for that. Yeah. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S. This is another one that got Amanda's attention because she loves these games. Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Upgrade pack is available for people who bought the Switch 1 version. Nobunaga's Ambition, Awakening Complete Edition. Did I say that correctly, Chase?
Yes. Okay.
I started to say it wrong and went, no.
Totodile.
This is another good one. This is the one I was talking about earlier. Fast Fusion, which is confirmed to have both local and online share play. This is basically the F-Zero that we all need that Nintendo wouldn't make. So Shinen.
Yeah, it's basically if F-Zero and Wipeout had a baby.
Yeah.
And it was made by somebody who always understood the assignment.
Yes, it is a gorgeous and fun game. So we'll definitely be playing this one online. Fortnite's coming out on launch day. No one's shocked. At least now maybe it'll run a little bit better and people can possibly enjoy it. I do wonder, though, if they've got support for mouse controls. Because you'll be able to play Fortnite.
Build mode.
Build mode with the mouse, and you can have the higher refresh rate. So this could actually be a competitive way to play Fortnite, which is hilarious.
I hope my guitar controller works on it.
And lastly, for the launch day, we're getting Arcade Archives 2 Ridge Racer. So that is what will be
Ridge Racer.
I was wondering who would do it.
Racer.
Oh man, that demonstration. Who remembers this? Ridge Racer. You had to do it again. Nobody liked it. All right, so let's move on to the launch window-ish. This is late June to September of 2025. So we're getting Raidou Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army, June 19th.
Hey.
Which, from what I can tell, this is a separate release, not a update. So if you get the Switch version, I don't know if you'll be able to update it to this. You may have to buy it again.
It is not confirmed yet, but so far, according to the box art, this is on cart.
Oh,
yeah,
fun.
That's good. The other surprise I was so happy about, Donkey Kong Bonanza, coming out July 17th.
That was a game that they are demoing apparently at these events. So just so you know,
they had a whole thing with it. Mario Odyssey mixed with Red Faction destruction.
I need to see more about this.
There's one video where he shows an entire mountain and he goes through the entire mountain and makes the whole thing gone.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Amazing.
That's great. I love how animated he is. Just the little I love Nintendo just having this whole, like, their classic animation, just their golden era.
Chris was messing with me earlier. I think we need to have an extra quarters where we try to unravel the lore.
Oh, this will be great.
That takes a lot of explanation and goes into Rare, Nintendo, and the DK family tree. That's a lot.
Is it more complicated than the Knuckles family tree?
Yes.
It is.
Well, it makes you wonder, Cranky Kong, is he actually the old Donkey Kong or what? Like, is Donkey Kong Jr.? Is he?
Oh my goodness.
I know where this is going. I'm down. Where's Lanky fit in? So we have Shadow Labyrinth, Nintendo Switch 2 edition, July 18th. God damn it, the voice of that just broke me. He did. Super Mario Party Jamboree Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Jamboree TV update is July 24th. Wild Hearts S, July 25th. No Sleep for Kaname Date from AI The Somnium Files is July 25th. What a name. Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, August 27th. So you get those high definition milkable hippos. I don't know. Tamagotchi Plaza Nintendo Switch
Tamagotchi.
Yeah, you could up with that one. I will argue that. Tamagotchi Plaza Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, June 27th. Either way, I'm not playing it. It looks ridiculous. Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion, September 5th. Metroid Prime 4 Nintendo. I'm sorry, that's the September 5th one. So now we're going into the 2025 games that don't have dates. We just know they're going to be either sometime later in the year or they're just this year. Starting with Metroid Prime 4 Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, which is sometime this year. I'm still shocked we don't have a date for that yet. I would have thought at this point, it looks like it's done. Like you'd think it would have been a launch title, but I guess they don't want to go against Mario Kart, and then a month later you've got Donkey Kong, and then
I'm expecting maybe August,
maybe September.
They love to do first party each month, so
that's true. I mean, we'll get it sometime by after that 6 months.
Or we'll get another direct during E3 season to knock our socks off.
That's true. I bet you that'll be the launch date. Pokemon ZA Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, late 2025. Dragon Drive is summer 2025. This is the dual mouse tank controls, which I thought was kind of cool for doing that. It's not quite as intuitive, it seems, as ARMS, but paraplegic, like actually using wheelchairs for basketball and stuff. It's kind of neat that they're actually finding a way to control that and use it. And they did confirm multiple times, Steven, there are people that will play it using their pants, like doing the motions on there. I
watched the playthrough of it. And he did say that. It looked like a lot of fun. There is a learning curve, obviously, but what tank control dual stick games don't have that. But I think it's all going to come down to the price. This either has to be a budget digital title, because if I see this on a cart, you better have more stuff in it.
It feels almost like it would be a mode in like a new Switch 2 sports game or something, you know?
Yeah.
That would have been kind of a neat way to do it. Elden Ring Tarnished Edition is coming out this year. I was shocked by that. Go ahead, Steven.
In Japan, it's going to be a keycard release, so stay tuned for the US.
Oh, I really hope it's an actual release here. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4, or 3 and 4, coming out this summer. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is coming winter 2025. I'm excited for this one. I know, Chase, you're not as big a fan of the series, but it's still technically a Muso one, so you kind of have to love it a little bit. Maybe?
The original Hyrule Warriors was all right. I haven't played the Age of Calamity one, so I don't know what that one's like. But
I've enjoyed what I've played of Age of Calamity, and the story's really fun.
The licensed Muso games are okay.
Yeah.
I kind of hope they do with this one like they did. Did you ever play it on Wii U? Like the original Hyrule Warriors?
No.
So there was a mode on that where you could play together, and it tanked the frame rate, but it was still fun because who cared? We were just enjoying it. But one person was on the TV while the other was on the gamepad, and you could run around the map and control different people playing together. That would be an awesome GameShare feature if they could do that. To let you kind of split up again like the Wii U.
Steven done disappeared. I think he went to go get a cat.
Get a cat, and he'd go get... Yep, I thought so. Still got mine too.
Interesting.
I think I have the same one. Erwin, that was the one that came with the scarf, right?
Yeah, it was the one that was the Nintendo World exclusive. That
I didn't get that one. Oh, you suck. You suck. That's awesome.
In case you guys haven't realized this yet, those of you listening, half of our time on the show sometimes is Steven going and getting something from his collection, and then Jeremy saying, "Oh, you suck," or vice versa.
Yeah, it's a show off between our two collections. We still need to have a say what?
Wait, I got one more for him to say I suck.
You motherfucker! Oh, damn it! The Mario Kart 8 kit. Anyways,
Anyway,
I have a Wii U store display that works. All right, I don't want to hear it.
And I know where you got that from.
Yep, you know exactly which one it is. Moving on, Borderlands 4 coming out this year. If that was actual Switch 2 footage, it looks surprisingly good. But
I'll wait for the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, no, I agree. Goodnight Universe, which it's got face tracking.
So this is
Explain this.
Yeah, basically,
Does it look like you're playing like you're a baby?
This one will do face tracking because of the types of characters you're playing, and it'll alter the story. The other game that these guys made is the one that made people cry, which I hope comes out for us because yes, in this one you are Isaac, a 6-month-old baby developing mysterious psychic powers. But the same studio that made the game called Before Your Eyes, that would basically watch you, and if you blinked, you went forward in time. And the reason people cried when they played this game is you could be talking to, say, like you could be petting your cat and just trying to go through the story. But if you forget that you can't blink, you'd blink, and suddenly it would be like 10 years later, your cat's a senior, has a broken foot or something like that. So it can either
blink again, your cat's dead.
I will never play these games. No, thank you.
The game would ruin people because like you would have like these relationships, but then because you blinked, you went forward in time and that person's gone or that person moved away and you're like, what? So
I'd be screwed. I have to blink.
So when I saw Goodnight Universe, I was just like, can we please get Before Your Eyes as well? Because that is insane.
Ironically, I skipped over one that people might want to hear about, and that was we have proof of life of Hollow Knight Silk Song.
When will it come out? We don't know. Just 2025 this year.
That's all they said. But it's ironic I skipped over that without realizing it. It's
one of the games coming up that you're going to say soon, I ascended when I saw it.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I yelled. Like Amanda was like, "What's going on?" All right, we have 2 Point Museum from Sega, Witchbrook coming out this holiday.
Yes!
Which,
you know how long I've been waiting for that? So long.
Well, we don't know if this is a enhanced edition or if it is a separate release, so you might want to wait and just get the Switch 2 one. Because it looks like that might be a game that mouse support could be added to. Who knows?
Or it would make online better because you can talk to your friends while you're going around together.
I'm just fine. I'm, the best
I think
thing
that
about
alone...
this game,
I think the chat alone is going to make me automatically choose the Switch 2 version over a lot of stuff. Just being able to do that. Marvel Cosmic Invasion coming out holiday. I looked through that trailer. They did not show any more superheroes. I tried.
Going back to 2 Point Museum though.
Yeah, go for it. I've never played them.
So the 2 Point Hospital game is like wildly popular. I've never played it. But I'd play this one, I think, maybe, because it's a museum. What's not to like?
I have fun setting up the museum in Animal Crossing, so who knows? Go ahead, Steven.
Have any of you ever played from Bullfrog, if you still remember them?
Oh, wow.
Theme Hospital.
No.
I've dabbled in it.
So this is basically, the 2 Point series is the spiritual successor to Theme Hospital. It's wacky, but it's set in schools, it's set in hospitals, and now it's going to set in museums.
So it's kind of like City Skylines to Sim City. Kind of like a
it just tries to be wackier because the things that can happen in it are supposed to be crazier than your typical, here's the Mona Lisa. It might be like a Mona Lisa that talks or something like that.
That sounds actually pretty funny.
That's fine. That's
try
fine.
that. I'm here. Who needs serious museums?
Listen, as someone who's worked in a school, trust me, if it's crazy, it's probably happened.
Another big surprise that I'm contemplating how I want to get this on the Switch 2, Star Wars Outlaws. Like, I was shocked to see that was on there. Go ahead, Steven.
Let's all take bets right now whether it's going to be a key card release or not.
I hate the fact it's probably going to be.
It's definitely
it's Ubisoft.
Going to be.
There's no way around it. Make it a key card release. I'm saying that right now.
No ifs, ands, or buts, my friends.
I'll take the other side of that bet and say it's not.
What about you, Chase? Key card release? It's Ubisoft.
Probably.
You're probably right. I'm just trying to have some hope. All right, Chris, you got to be in on this. Key card or not?
With Ubisoft? Who knows? If they're still around, maybe.
Damn. You're not wrong, though.
2 Point Game Studio.
So
Or
this
10-cent Game Studio.
Yeah.
Coming soon, 2 Point Ubisoft.
Oh,
2 Point
God.
Ubisoft.
So this next one was weird looking. It looked like it was almost like a horror game of some sort, but called Reanimal.
It's from the creators of Little Nightmares.
That's another one I want to play. This is the one I think Rachel lost her shit over. I know I did for actually
More
these next
footage!
two. Professor Layton and the New World of Steam.
I'm so ready. But you know what? There's just going to be one thing I'm going to ask for. Level 5. Nintendo.
Rachel?
What?
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. I just had another ready, but go ahead with yours.
Level 5. Nintendo, I am begging you. I am begging you. Put the rest of the Layton games on the Switch or the Switch 2. For the love of God. It's
So,
not that hard.
If we're asking level 5 for stuff, I want them to port Crimson Shadow from the 3DS. That is
Okay.
That's basically
Listen,
a
I'm
D&D
gonna
puzzle
work
game
on
for that.
manifesting a bunch of things.
So they can call it the Professor Layton Dominus collection. Because Dominus is DS, so they can do the same thing
Yep.
Castlevania did.
Absolutely.
So, Rachel, realize that this would be okay. Jen, go back in there. We can play Professor Layton while we're online, and if either of us get stuck on a puzzle, we can share the screen and talk to each other while we do it.
We have further reason, Nintendo and Level 5, for you to put all the Layton games on the Switch too. Just listen to us. We're smart.
We know what we're talking about.
We know what we're talking. We'll buy these games.
We're
and we'll make sure other
professionals.
people do.
People cried at this next announcement.
Oh yes, they did.
Oh God, Kirby Air Riders
I was
coming
shocked.
this year directly from Sakurai.
I literally, when I saw it, I was like,
I saw it at first and was like, well, they're probably not going to announce another Kirby game because they're doing the port. I was like, could this be the beginning of a Smash Brothers? Because you like starting those off with Kirby doing something. Nope, Kirby Air Riders. Because as soon as he got on the star, I love the fact he is beating the shit out of that star, trying to get it to start. Like, he's not even being nice. He's angry face Kirby, just going, come on, come on. Oh, man. I think this is like, all right, Sakurai, you did all the stuff for Smash Brothers. You can make whatever you want. I want to make Air Riders. All right, fine. Here you go. Here's a blank check. Go make it. All right, our last section here is our 2026 Beyond or No Date Given titles. So first off, we had Hades 2, first on Switch 1 and 2. More info on it later this year, which it's in early access right now.
There was
It's
a
only on
really
Steam right now, but they said it's going to come first to Switch, just like the first one did, and later to other consoles.
There was a really, really good meme that a friend of mine posted in another Discord server about the NBA, like all the different like things coming out for Switch of the sports games. And it says, my reaction when EA and 2K announced that EAFC, Madden, NBA, and WWE are all coming to Switch too, but not NHL. He was like, guess who was mad?
So as she was saying, EA Sports FC, no date. Madden NFL just said that we get support. They didn't show anything.
Oh, the logo. Thanks, Metroid Prime.
Project 007 confirmed from IOI.
Now that I was excited for.
Show us something. They've teased this multiple times.
No, so when that happened, I literally, my coworker Josh, he grabs my wrist because we're watching it on my phone during our lunch break and goes, all he sees is the barrel, and he goes, GoldenEye? And he about had an aneurysm, and he goes, okay, it's still James Bond. We're all right.
Oh, wow.
To clarify, guys, me personally, I'm not mad about anything with sports game because I don't play the sports ball. But
yeah, I mean, if people enjoy them, it's great. They just should have shown something. They just like, here's CG grass.
But you know, I'm pulling for you, my friend Jack. I'm pulling for you that you get your NHL because that's just sad.
Bring back EA Sports Big.
Just bring back Gretzky on the 64. Just put it on Nintendo Switch Online. I'd be happy.
Freight Train. Woo!
I can still hear that like logo sound in my brain, by the way, Stephen, of the EA Sports Big. Like, that's what it sounds like.
It's in the game.
It's in the game.
So we had WWE 2K, also no date. NBA 2K being shown. Once again, these are just logos. They gave nothing. Like,
Yeah, not
They
even
showed
a
a
year,
little-
just a 2K.
They showed
It's
a
coming
little
out in
of
20XX.
They showed a little of Enter the Gungeon, those other ones.
Well, I'm talking about that was the EA and
Yeah.
their sports stuff. They were just like,
Who cares?
we're
It's
here.
sports.
Here's
Sports
logos.
is coming.
Who cares? It's sports. I don't
Enter
care.
the Gungeon 2 looks crazy. They switched to a 3D engine from the 2D original, but they're still keeping that above view. Rachel's got a drinking problem.
Call of Duty.
Surprise Call of Duty didn't get mentioned. So Enter the Gungeon, I'm excited for. I love that series. Starseeker Astroneer Expeditions coming in 2026.
Like a fun No Man's Sky.
Shut up.
Jesus, Steven. You have no heart. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. No date given. Also opening bets on if this will be a key card or not. They'll probably still find a way to do code in a box.
It's going to be the brand new cloud version.
Give them some slack, guys. It'll be okay.
At least
I'm sorry. I nearly died with one.
Yeah.
I want Nintendo costumes for all the characters. Okay.
That would be hilarious. Human Fall Flat 2 got no date.
Before we talk about our next one.
Okay, yeah, this next one's pretty big. Go ahead.
I just want to say when I saw this, I went, "Oh my god." And then all my coworkers were like, "Oh my god."
Steven remembers my first thing was, is this Castlevania? Like, I was wondering if it was like a new Castlevania.
No, I went.
Some people guessed it from the hands.
I literally.
They said only one studio does this, and I was like,
yeah,
what
the weird hand dripping thing. I was like, this looks like Bloodborne, but not Bloodborne. What is this? And then
before we're done describing this game, I have all your answers for you. Okay.
Okay. And then I went. This looks like Bloodborne, but not Bloodborne. And I'm just like, this is very vampire-y. And I'm like, there's some real vampire vibes going on.
You
and
can
then
kind of see why I would think
some stuff that you're gonna love to hear.
Okay.
But Rachel, you could see why I would kind of think like, did they get Konami, them to help Konami making a Castlevania game? It kind of looked like it.
If they did another 3D Castlevania that was like that one on PS2 that had everybody had really pretty hair, that's fine.
Everybody had really pretty hair.
They did. Go back and look at it. They had pretty hair.
I would have taken Castlevania Judgment too.
Okay.
All right.
So the game we keep beating around the bush for here is the From Software Switch 2 exclusive, The Duskbloods, coming in 2026.
Vampires.
So this is basically, from the people that made Bloodborne and Elden Ring, the director, Hidetaka Miyazaki.
Hey!
Yay, you got it. You got it in one
I was like,
go.
I'm going to try.
I am very impressed with you. If you had gotten Miyazaki wrong, I would have been ashamed. Because that's
I would have been
easy.
annoyed. Miyazaki, I know. Go ahead, Steven.
So, I do implore you afterwards, Rachel, to at least go to Nintendo.com and read the creator's blog with the director.
It's good.
Because he does touch on two things which got me more excited to want to play it.
Is it going to be really hard?
The game is multiplayer focused, and it is PvPvE, so player versus everything. But you can decide which side you want to be on, a PvP side or a PvE side.
Okay.
But the interesting things I took from the blog, that you can read the whole thing later, is that the way you customize your character is basically on whose blood you drink. You have a blood history and fate.
What?
So you can
Vampires.
By analyzing and altering a character's blood history and fate allows players to customize all sorts of things, from their abilities, appearance, inner characteristics, to the role they play in the world and relationships with other characters. So what they do here is that they didn't talk about until this blog was you have roles that you can pick.
Oh.
So when you're playing online, you can either possess the Destined Rivals role, which you will be designated another player as your rival, and your sole purpose is to find and kill that player.
That actually could be fun playing with your friends.
Doing so counts as achieving a personal goal separate from the overall victory conditions of the map that you're on. But the other example is a Destined Companion, which I like, where one player is required to seek out another designated player as their companion, which results in a special reward if they form a bond with one another.
That also
Roles can
sounds
be
cool.
assigned to any character via blood customization. So be careful who you're drinking.
So
I'll drink whoever I damn well
you
please.
can't tell me what to do. You're not my
So
dad.
somebody even asked, they're like, well, are you saying this is kind of how like players can pick their roles in a tabletop RPG? And he said, exactly.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
is one
hilarious.
okay, I have a few things. One, as long as the character creation and stuff associated with it and all of that is not as complicated and stressful as D&D. I'm sorry to those who played D&D, but the character creation alone stresses me out so much that I cannot play the game.
More like Fable mixed with depending on whose blood you drink, you take a characteristic that you add to your character's customization. So if you're like, I like that dress, maybe you drink her blood, you can have her dress. I don't know.
No, I actually kind of like that because it's similar to another tabletop game that I played. So I can jive with that.
The funniest detail is at the end you see a winged rat character, and he said, the director said, I suppose you could say we tried doing something a little Nintendo-esque in the spirit of partnership. And Nintendo's like, what do you mean by that?
You have this weird
A
giant
weird
They're like,
ring
well,
rat.
we just tried something cute for a change, although I will say that the character is actually an elderly gentleman, so that rat is old.
See, all I can think of when I saw that was the thing from Finding Nemo. It's a rat with wings.
So here's my question. Since it's from software,
Mhm.
is the game inordinately hard? And is there a way to make it less inordinately hard? Because I will not play it if it is.
Might be.
What?
We don't know how Souls-like it might be.
I need more info.
This
Yeah.
is the Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Elden Ring guy, Bloodborne guy.
Well, yes.
Yeah, it's kind of expected.
I'm hoping that because this is a Nintendo like exclusive kind of thing, I'm hoping that they are a little on the side of not as difficult.
I think
Strictly because it's on a Nintendo console. Not that this is what it like should be like in
two
all
things
be all.
about that.
Okay.
One, they're going full out with Elden Ring and some other stuff. I think they're whatever difficulty they're going to make it, they're not going to make it easier because it's on Nintendo. But two, the beauty of this is if we get this and you're curious about it, there is now just a built-in way. Here, I'll show you what I'm doing. You can see how the game is while we're playing it.
Okay.
And I have a feeling we're going to take advantage of that a lot.
And you can see it, and he can share the screen and show it in the same frame rate that it runs on PS4 Pro.
Well, that's always good, isn't it?
That wasn't what I was going for, but you get the idea. Like now, if you're like, hey, I might try this. I want to see how it is. Share your screen. And we can just do that on the Switch 2 now is kind of cool.
Yeah,
I know that's something you can do on PS5 and stuff too.
And just know that,
yes,
this is a Bayonetta situation. This is no Bandai Namco like Elden Ring.
Yeah.
It's strictly From Software and Nintendo, where From Software became a Thanos and said, fine, I'll do it myself.
Well, this is basically a Bloodborne situation because Bloodborne can't go anywhere else because Sony's involved with From Software. This probably won't go anywhere else because Nintendo's
the interview
involved.
will mess with you because he keeps calling the characters Bloodsworn. And I was like, why did you call it that?
I think he's doing it on purpose because he knows people wanted a Bloodborne 2 so bad. So he's just like, you know what? Go screw yourself. I'm going to do something else that's going to make you mad. Stop asking me for it.
I was watching
hookers.
It's like those guys who mispronounce Vampire Survivors as something else.
Yeah, like I don't know why Chris keeps doing that. It messes me up.
But like I was watching some of the reactions to the direct other than the one we did, which you can find over on YouTube and watch that, or on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Zenspath, COM. But they were going like, oh my God, it's Bloodborne 2. And I'm like, there's no way it could be. But watching them freak out about it, I'm like, you're just setting yourself up to get hurt here, people.
Still, the best meme from it was the one that I shared is Dustbloods. It's Bloodborne 2. Nintendo said it looks like Bloodborne 2, but due to international copyright laws, it's not. Still, we should freak out like it's Bloodborne 2, though it isn't.
That was a great take on that.
Literally the best use of that meme. I saw it and I went, I have to.
And ironically, before you sent that, I was up at GameStop making that very joke with John, not about Bloodborne, but about something else, and how much we loved that line and how much it stuck to stuff. So when you sent it, it was even funnier because of that.
You're welcome. I hope you and John appreciated it.
Oh, we did. So yeah, that was a huge surprise and it's a huge get for exclusivity on that. Now, announced a little bit after the Direct, there was a little bit that got added in. We had Sonic X Shadow Generations, which is
Nice.
coming soon. We don't have an exact date, but they did show gameplay of it running full 60 FPS. We could have faster modes or 4K. We don't know yet. And then Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster is possibly launch day. We haven't got confirmation, but we have seen the
all the
box
store
art.
pages I've gone to say shipping June 5th. So I'm like,
yeah, we don't know.
It's funny that you mentioned this because when I saw this on there, I literally was like, I don't remember if I picked up my copy from GameStop. I think I did.
You're like, do I get it? Do I wait? Like,
yeah, I think I did. I think I did because they would have probably called me or not because they forgot that one time. But
well, I mean, the thing is, like, getting some of these, we don't know if they are going to actually be backwards compatible on the Switch 2 because there are some third-party games that are having issues. So I don't know. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our last little bit here. Letter grade. So after this Direct, seeing the revealing of the Switch 2 in itself, let's get a letter grade from each of you. And also, are you going to try and get a Switch 2 at launch? Are you going to wait for it? Or are you just not wanting to get one? Steven, let's start with you.
so I had a number system.
Yeah, I know. That's why I went and started with you.
On the day of.
oh man, he's got the data.
It's like, let's just get this over with.
I will quickly go over that they got points for saying that there's going to be a separate Direct for their biggest game and their highest priced game. That they're doing chat, welcome to 2006. That they have a camera for different purposes now, not just being, it's also acting like a Kinect, it seems.
It works surprisingly well, too.
And for me, technically, they have a paid app that's also a game, and they call it Welcome Tour. That was a plus for me because I like those kind of quirky games. They got some negatives for after showing a huge trailer, they tell me more about the game, and I'm like, shut up. You're having a Direct on the 17th about it. Don't talk about it and waste my time. That they showed so much of Mario Party, and I'm like, Treehouse is tomorrow, guys. Stop.
Well, I think it's because that's their biggest showing for the
it was
update.
just the re-explaining of things. I don't know what I wrote down there, but but overall, they started with a 10. They got minuses, they got pluses, so they ended up with a 12. So, this for me, overall is an A, and the only thing, and it was going to be so simple, Nintendo, is that would have made it an S is if you explained some of these things. First off, you didn't give us the price during the Direct. We just had to deal with an hour of misinformation.
No, we're still dealing with misinformation.
Yeah. And there's still underlying questions of your different types of media. Mm-hmm. So that's why I didn't get an S tier. But if I could answer all the questions people have, I would have easily given an S. But there's still unknowns, which is why they get an A, because there's still going to be games that they're, as Barney would say, hook it into my veins. Like, they're bleeding me dry later.
Just hook it to my veins.
There you go.
All right. Chris, what about you? What's your letter grade? Oh, yeah. The other part, Steven, are you?
If it wasn't obvious already, yes. As the sole owner of the of the Nintendo Switch Online account, I have one hopefully reserved through there. I have GameStop and Best Buy on notice.
Yep.
Listen.
But I'm trying to at least get one, and then the second one will be, does anybody else need one? I will order it if needs be.
Chris, it will be Chris's.
Yeah. In this podcast, we don't believe in scalping.
Anyway.
Yeah, no. In this podcast, we do not believe in scalping.
Nope. If you get extra, you share with your friends.
Yes, exactly. But we don't believe in scalping. But we do believe in helping.
Yes, agreed. Chris, what about you? What is your letter grade, and are you going to try and steal Steven's Switch too?
Well, the more information I found out, the less I wanted to get it at launch day, because a lot of games that are quote-unquote expansion packs, they don't offer enough aside from graphical extras and stuff that I wouldn't use, like the phone apps and everything.
Yeah, that is weird.
I would prefer for an expansion to have DLC, extra games, extra dungeons and stuff, that kind of thing, not just, it looks nicer. The games the Switch's pride was games that didn't have to look perfect but played perfectly.
Exactly.
And I think the expansion pack thing kind of weakens that a little bit. So until we get more games like Bonanza, I can wait. So
Okay.
I give it a C plus.
Unless
wow.
they said a certain game with an M in it, then
Yes. Simile Re Fantasy did not get announced, so that didn't happen.
Give it time. There's probably a key card waiting for it.
they'll announce it at E3. Oh yeah, by the way, we have another launch day.
Yep. Rachel, what about you?
So I'm probably going to get the Switch either at launch or close to launch
Okay.
for Mario Kart alone, because I am a Mario Kart girly, but
Oh, yeah.
also for Donkey Kong Bonanza because it looks hilariously fun.
It does.
It looks just like a good time, and also I need to have it like ready so I can play Layton like properly. Like that's
Sometime next year.
No, they said
They said
2025.
this
No, it's
year,
25. Never mind.
They could drop it like one day, and she'll be like, "What? I need to go, guys."
I'll be like, I'll be like,
Yeah,
in the
we
middle of
both end the show.
like nobody talk to me. I'm playing Layton.
Jeremy, end the show now. Okay.
But there's
Like,
other.
I have to leave work right now. I shit my pants.
I would not say that. But
I would if I had to get like Snatcher on.
but also like there's some other games coming out too that I'm like, oh okay, yeah, especially if it's a Switch exclusive, and also games that I haven't bought yet that I would like to play that would be good for Switch 2, Split
Mhm.
Fiction for example. That would be really fun to play with
Yeah.
GameChat.
It would.
And it's got crossplay, so
And
you
it's
can
got
play with
crossplay.
anybody who owns Split Fiction.
Exactly.
Oh, cool. So you can play with me on my Xbox.
Exactly.
Nice.
So, but you couldn't use GameChat. So
That's true. Because
Yeah.
I keep thinking Discord, but
yeah,
at least the gameplay's there. But since if you bought it on Switch, then I could just use my Switch 2 and play it with you
exactly.
because it still does that. So
Yeah.
works out.
So, but that would be. But I'm giving it an A minus. The reason why I'm giving it a minus on there
Mhm.
is because of all of the weirdness going on with the back and forth and the pricing and the delay in pre-order, which is fine. That's fine. Delay
Yeah,
in
some of
pre-order
that's
is
out of their
fine.
control, but yeah.
That is out of their control. But the price, like just some of the game pricing, I was like, okay, that's fine.
All right. Chase, what about you?
I kind of bounce back and forth on it. I'd probably give it a B plus. Not really a like. Oh, I won't get it at launch, unfortunately, because I am not the owner of the.
You might have an
NSO
easier
account.
time down there, though.
Yeah, well, pre-orders are up right now.
This is available for pre-order right now.
Yeah. But we're actually currently saving for Shadow to go on a vacation, so
Well, that's fine.
we'll wait. And we'll have to get 2 of them, and they're $800 Nintendo. over
Everything's
here.
expensive down there, though.
Yeah. But the only thing that didn't sit well with me is I didn't necessarily care for the fact that Nintendo decided to like up the price on games. They're bursting that bubble, so we'll see what happens with that.
GTA 100,
What?
GTA 6.
Yep.
$100.
Oh
There
my
you
god!
go.
Can you imagine?
How many other games, though, have we had recently where it's like, if you want the complete game or you want this extra content, it's like $90, $100, $150. And
Yeah, but that's for
at
like
least Mario Kart's complete, as far as we can tell.
yeah, but
Thank
that's
God.
for like a gold edition, or that's for like a collector's edition. This is a bit different. Like you're just getting a standard game for $80.
But
I don't
well, you
know.
say standard game, but like if you didn't have the whole map for
This is the Mario Kart
$60,
World
and then
Edition.
you paid
Chase.
extra for it.
It's a Forza Horizon rip, man. Like it's just Mario. It's just Nintendo's
That
version
game's
of Forza
delisted,
Horizon.
yo.
He's
and
not
that's only
wrong.
coming to PS5.
It's Nintendo's version of Forza Horizon, and I find it funny because I actually said this at the thing. Like, I find it
Yeah.
funny for a company that's extremely protective of their IPs and gets mad when other people fly too close to the sun. That they're like, hey, you know that formula that Ubisoft uses? Let's put a Zelda in that, and let's have like watchtowers that you climb up and like scan it to like open up chunks of the map. And then, oh, you know that Forza Horizon game looks fun. Why don't we just do Mario Kart with it? Like,
It's completely different, Chase.
Yeah,
like Ice
okay.
Ice Baby and Under Pressure, 2 different songs, 2 different.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
Come on.
But no, I mean overall though, like I was happy. The mouse control thing I was very happy about, and like Civ 7's gonna take advantage of that. What kind of annoys, if I was a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X owner though, I'd be really pissed off about that, because they're like, oh, so we have consoles that natively support keyboard and mouse, and you're just saying fuck you to us. But yeah, so I don't know, mixed feelings, but overall I'll get one eventually.
Nice. So for me, letter wise, I would probably go with a B plus. I really like the direct, but like I said earlier, the lack of information on certain things has led to a whole storm of people with misinformation, throwing things around, trying to, the console war is alive and well with some people who are just losing their crap.
It's alive and well
everyone's
with internet trolls. They're
yes.
keeping it alive.
Well,
Just
it's not
because-
just internet trolls. Like I've just randomly walked into like GameStop or other stuff, and people are coming in spouting this stuff. So it's not just like internet people typing things up. I'm just randomly running into people getting coffee or buying games that are like saying this stuff.
Are
and I
you
have to
saying
keep
we live in
correcting
an
them.
age of misinformation?
Yeah. Might as well not add to it. I was impressed with the Direct. I'm very impressed with the hardware, the functions of what it does. I'm excited to see where it goes. I mean, look at Metroid Prime 4 on the original Switch. After all these years, how much they've squeezed out of it and what it can do. Imagine what this is going to do in a couple of years as well. And it's going to be great. So I'm getting this thing day one. If I'm trying Best Buy and GameStop, if I can't get it there, my backup is the Nintendo one. I've already got the money back for it. So the moment they call me, I'll have that thing paid off in 20 minutes. Like, I'm not even going to chance it. It's going to be done. So I will be very excited for that. So, all right, let's jump into the big question for this week. All right. So with the demonstration that the system will support up to 2-handed mouse controls, what is the ideal game you would like to see come to the system? Steven, since you originally thought of this one, I'm going to start with you.
All right. I'm sure somebody in here will also echo my feelings. But overall, let me just say, Xbox, I know you didn't show anything yet, but Phil Spencer, you did say you now own Sierra and all their back catalog of titles. And as well as those titles, developers, I've heard the system is really easy to develop for. Can you patch your games, all the point-and-click adventure games that you do not directly control the character? Please add mouse capability to all these point-and-click games. I do not want to have to use the touchscreen, and I would love to play them on my couch without emulators and all, without the Scum engine. It's just there's endless possibilities of the money you guys can print by just giving us legacy titles. And then it's just, as well as that, I was just like, we can fix light gun games, guys. It's the only system that can do light guns now, at least for the mouse. At least they can do it properly. Don't need to point it at the screen, sure, but treat it like the Mario Party, Mario Paint Fly Swatter game. Just point and click and kill. So I'm excited for the future because the mouse controls is out of the box. It's not like you need a special controller. So
I'm going to piggyback on that.
Okay, Rachel, you're next.
Yes, I'm piggybacking on that because point and click adventure games is exactly what I said here. You know, they had been talking about, some more Microsoft stuff coming to Switch and Nintendo and all that, and vice versa, a lot more other games coming to other consoles. And I'm like, Microsoft, you have the chance to do the funniest and best shit that you could possibly do here with all of the stuff that you own. Sierra, for example, like, you have the chance to do something really cool here. And any other developer that has old point and click games, or they made them, so whoever has the library of point and click games of stuff that is from way back in the day that maybe it wasn't by Sierra, maybe it was by another developer. You have an opportunity here to do this for us point and click game lovers, to be able to play our lovely point and click games on the go or on our couch or in our hotel room without not having to bring our laptop or bring whatever, just to do something really enjoyable. Now, do I think that Her Interactive is going to put the Nancy Drew games on here? No, I don't think that they are. I don't think that they can. I don't think that. I think the way that those games were made, I don't think it's possible for them to be on there. But a girl can dream.
Nice. All right. Chris, what about you?
I think, honestly, there is only 2 games that I would really be into. One, I'd love to see another Mario Paint after all this time.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Especially with all the cool new stuff you could do, like Mario, 3D Paint Mario, just screwing around with effects. Doesn't even have to be paint. You could make a whole new orchestra that's not Wii music. All kinds of interesting things like that. And also Virtual On.
Ooh, good call.
Every version, the original, the arcade, the Dreamcast version, which is my personal favorite,
Yes.
Mars. We have twin stick stuff now, so we could do a lot of things, including all those Gundam games that Steve hates. A lot of fun things to do.
Yes, that's a good
That
call.
I hate.
Which is fun. He hates fun. All right, Chase, what about you?
I mean, I'm pretty easy. Like, I'd just like to see maybe more like RTS games and strategy games come to the Switch now because of the mouse functionality.
StarCraft.
64.
The number
That's
one,
fine.
number one for me though will probably be Fire Emblem. Like, I'll definitely want to see another Fire Emblem on this system, and with the mouse controls, I think it'd
It'd
be
be so much easier.
yeah. Instead of having to thumb through all the menus, you could just click on what you want to do and what
They could
enemy you
do
want
bigger.
to attack.
They could do bigger wars and stuff. Like just the amount of characters you have.
I know.
You have to make sure not all of them die.
I just, you give me that. That's chef's kiss. I'm in.
Nice. So for me, I kind of thought about it, and I was specifically thinking the 2 mouse controls, and one thing came to mind: pod racing. Being able to put the 2 mice down and actually steer, moving them up and down to steer the pod racer as you went along. Like, it would be a great time to bring that back, which I know they had a mode similar in the 64.
Yeah, because you can remap all the controls now on all the systems with the Switch 2, they said, especially Nintendo 64 and stuff. That means that you could enable the dual analog modes for GoldenEye and for Pod Episode 1 Racer, and to make it work like that. That would be amazing.
That would be great. Another one that I thought, and this kind of fits in with the Mario Paint theme, a new Mario Maker that actually uses the mouse, so you can actually build and construct with that. I think would be absolutely fantastic. And then the last one I thought of as a kind of a funny thing is I want a new Pilot Wings, just so I could use the mice to flap for the bird suit.
That sounds like a WarioWare thing in the making.
It does. It's that the dual mouse controls. I'm just like, I know a WarioWare is coming, and it's going to be the most ridiculous shit ever, and I'm here for it. So that'll be fantastic. All right, so I think that is a good end for that. So let's close it off. But before we do the actual closing, I want to make a quick statement in regards to a lot of the misinformation in regards to the Switch 2. So here's some clarification on actual facts with the Switch 2. First off, the games are not all $90. One game so far is $80. A couple of them are $70. Some are $60. There's some down to $40. You got digital ones even cheaper. It's a variable price cost. It's not all the same. Next up, not all the games are on the cartridge. That's kind of true. There are the key cards, but those games, you put it into your system, you download it once, you have it. It acts like it's physical. You can share it, give it to people. Most games are on the cartridge. That includes Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, Cyberpunk 2077. They're on there. You don't have to worry about it. Or they may just be all digital download titles. So it's not some weird conspiracy on that for the cost. I'm trying to think what else there was for this.
It's digital with resale value, guys.
Yeah, for those, you can actually resell those cards. So that's a lot of the rumors I've heard about it. The system itself, we don't know if the cost will go up. I don't think it's going to. there is a lot of stuff the Switch 2 can actually play and do. It's not just a little bit more powerful Switch. It's a new system. If you can't afford to get it right now, that's fine. But don't just hate on people for getting it or enjoying it. Okay. And quit with this whole you're defending a corporation by actually just telling you the facts of what it is. Grow up. So there you go. What is that? Oh, your Nintendo tattoo. Nice. All right. Yeah, that's hilarious. So yeah. Oh yeah. I think that was it. Was just the cost of the battery, the cost of the stuff, the cost of the games. I think that's the main part of everybody's misinformation for this. All right. Well, so you can find the podcast in the audio form wherever you listen to your shows. Just look for the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast or just Zenspath. You should be able to find us that way. Or the video version over on YouTube on our channel, Zenspath COM.
Video version.
Oh, you suck for that. Both can easily be found over on zenspath.com/podcast as well. Leave us a review if you can to help the show grow. Like and share the show with others. Leave us a comment on YouTube. Tell us what you feel about the show. Are you getting a Switch 2? What do you think about the game? So forth. Answer the big question. Tell us what you think of the Direct. Also, you can talk to us directly. Is the easiest and fastest way to do that over on Discord, which is bit.ly/Zenspath Discord. You can also find the link over at zenspath.com. All right. I've been your host, Jeremy Powers, joined once again by Steven, Rachel, Chris, and Chase, talking all about the Switch 2. And we're out. Peace.
Jinkies.
Night, everybody.
Now you say it.